Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse, the DC Comics podcast from Male Fuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always, Matt's here.
Yeah, fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
And not so fortunate and not so glorious, Connor's here.
I'm not going to argue with this week.
He's tired.
It's been a long day.
Connor's been up for something like 16 hours. He's been
18.
Oh, there you go.
What's your caffeine of choice there, Connor? You can't just be tea.
No, I've just got the small amount that's in. I forgot to buy energy drinks. I knew I was having a stupidly long shift today, and I was getting up stupidly early for work, and I forgot. So I bought one at work, but you know that's long worn off now.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I figured you'd have something right there in front of you, like break in case of emergency.
No. Maybe I'll go and make a cup of tea at some point.
Yeah,
while you're talking about Superman.
I hope you've got some booze at the ready because you're going to need it for the first news story this week.
Oh, no.
Before we get to that, though, we do talk about DC Comics on this show, and coming up on this week's show, we have Detective Comics 988, Superman number 3, The Flash 54, Catwoman number 3, Supergirl 22, Titans 25, Hawkman number 4, Plastic Man number 4, Suicide Squad 46, and Sideways number 8. And what's notable about this week, as we were just pointing this out before we started, is that other than 2 books, all of them this week are all just pairs of us that have read. They're different pairs, it's different combinations of 2 of us, but there's only 2 books where all 3 of us read them this week, which is weird. Because that's usually the majority, right?
Yeah, that, or at least half.
Yeah, at least half.
Yeah, this might be the lowest ever. That it's only 2 books.
Week 2 is diverse because there's a couple of super books that Cora doesn't read. He's not reading Titans either. I don't read Hawkman. I just forgot that Suicide Squad was a crossover book this week and forgot to read it because it's Suicide Squad.
Yeah. But see, had I read Plastic Man, I would be the one that reads everything again, and I got to stop doing that. It's not good for my brain. It's just not. There's too many stories.
I mean, to be fair, I did read House of Whispers, but I mean, it's not really relevant.
Yeah. This is Vertigo. How's the Sandman universe books? Because you've read all of them so far, right?
Oh yeah, I'm digging it. House of Whispers, probably the one I was least excited for, but it was a really solid first issue.
Books of Magic is the other one that's coming out, right?
Yeah, we got that, and we've got Lucifer still to come.
Okay. Well, you let me know what Books of Magic is, because that's the one I was kind of excited for, being a Potter file.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll do.
In peace, like, don't tell me about any of them.
Just Potter file. Just as a phrase that I'm stuck on.
I don't
for
like
a second.
saying Potterhead. That sounds dumb. I'd rather say Potter file.
I don't know. What do Harry Potter fans call themselves?
I don't know.
I think it is
awesome.
Potterhead.
Is it? Muggle bitches? I don't...
No.
Potterhead sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I went into Hot Topic where they sell all the pops now, and they have the new Fantastic Beasts one, and I'm not buying pops anymore. I made that decision. I'm done. And I had to restrain myself.
There's no but. He restrained himself.
Movie's not even out yet.
Huh?
Movie's not even out yet. And
no, but they have the pops, and that young Dumbledore looked pretty cool. Like, I don't have a Jude Law pop, but I'm not going to because I'm not buying them anymore.
Until you move and realize you've got space to put them. It's
that's different.
Then.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, no. Yeah. The only driving force behind this decision right now is that you're going to have to move everything you buy. Once that's passed, once that's done, and you've basically agreed with yourself, you know what, I'm never moving again. I'm staying here for the rest of my life, and everyone else is going to have to move them once I die. Once you've made that choice, you're going to buy far too many pops again.
No, see, I feel the novelty of them is worn off. The fact that, like, we got Golden Girls pops before I got a proper line of Indiana Jones still anger fires me.
Because they're waiting for the new movie, and then they're just going to give you, like, 30 of them.
Well, once that happens, I will break my fast, and I'll buy them all.
Indiana Jones will have a walking stick, because Harrison Ford is going to be like 85 by the time that stupid movie comes out.
Yeah, but he's still... Do you see him delivering that speech this week with a proper Gandalf beard?
I did not.
Like, he looks old and wise. Yeah. Look that up. He spoke at a climate summit, and he looked like a proper... Like, his beard looked nice. So...
Matt's just, Han Solo's
Sorry.
beard's looking good.
This is a DC podcast, right? We're not here to fawn over beards.
No, we're not, but we clearly all respect beards because we all have beards.
Yeah.
Well,
And
me and
Connor's
Matt,
kind of weak. He looks like Amish almost.
Yeah,
That's not his fault.
me and Matt have beards. Connor has a chin curtain. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you not grow hair on your cheeks, or do you not like growing hair on your cheeks?
No, it irritates me at work.
Okay, gotcha. Because that's my one friend can grow a beard, but where his sideburns would connect, it just doesn't. It just stops. So he has like these lines that he can't grow a beard, and it makes him so mad.
I don't have a line in my hair, but I do actually have like lines where my glass legs go. Like I've got indents in my head just because I've always worn glasses. It's like little indents.
It's like on your finger from holding the smartphones. Everyone's pinky goes in now like that, or like that because I hold it on this hand. It does. Yeah. And it's just adoption from holding smartphones the way we do.
Shit, both my hands are like that. What the?
Yeah.
What is this?
That means you spend too much time on devices there, Pete.
This is
whether it's an iPad, a phone.
I think it's the iPad.
The iPad is a two-handed device.
The iPad's heavier, and sometimes if the cat's on one hand, I do have to kind of prop it up with one hand, and I think that's what's done this. It's the heavier iPad when I'm reading comics. That's what this is.
Yeah. Bloody Apple.
But now you have your fingers and then your glasses.
I know.
Making indents too.
I've been mutilated. Oh. Mutilated. Yeah. Anyway, we talk about DC Comics. We promise we do. We're getting to them right now. Well, actually,
let's get to that depressing news.
Let's get to the depressing news.
I need this out now. Let's bleed it.
Yes. We got a few news items this week. It's a couple of new book announcements, but let's start with the depressing thing. So there was rumors last week. So I do want to warn you here. There are kind of spoilers for what's coming up in terms of what the general direction of Nightwing is. But at this point, everyone kind of knows because everyone's been talking about it. But if you are like media blackout, if you are making a heavy job of avoiding them, you can skip the timestamps to the books and get there.
Put on your Nightwing visor that Pete loves and we all hate, and go la 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 la, and then come back later.
Hey, this week he had like a Cyclops blaster visor in Titans at one point.
Doesn't make it any better, Pete.
No, I'm not saying it does. I'm saying that there's now a different type of visor. There's now a range of visors to pick from. We were discussing Nightwing. That was in Titans.
You should be reading Titans, Connor.
I didn't mean to not read that. I missed the last issue, and then I just haven't caught up because clearly I didn't care enough.
We'll be talking about that later. There was a lot of Star Wars referencing in this issue as well, so you would have probably dug it. But anyway, so Nightwing's a thing, and despite the fact that Percy, of course, is currently on Nightwing, and he was solicited up till issue 53 of Nightwing, because Nightwing, of course, keep in mind, this month starts double shipping, so there was a few solicited. He is now going to be ending his run on issue 50. He put out a tweet saying that he regretted that he has to do this. He wished he could finish the story that he had planned. He's leaving on a high note, he claims he is, but he had more planned. And it sounds like, I mean, there's a lot of speculation going on if there's something fishy behind the scenes, that there's maybe some fallout or something. I don't know if there's any truth to that. From the sounds of the tweets, he's at least sticking to the idea that because he's writing more books and they're getting picked up for movies and TV shows, because now he's got multiple TV shows and movies in the works. The man's getting busy. I can't fault him. But because of that, that seems to be the main reason, at least publicly, why he's leaving the comic. And seemingly, I'd imagine comics for a while if he's that busy with all that stuff.
Well, I mean, that was his last DC book, right?
Yeah, this was the last time he was on.
Yeah, because he wasn't writing Titans anymore. Teen Titans, rather. Because he stopped with the new changeover, the creative change. So, and he's clearly he's not on Green Arrow. He's been on there for a while. So, it was just Nightwing.
So I guess for the time being, I'm going to assume it's just that, and that he doesn't have the time to commit to it, and that's maybe why. And maybe we'll see him back later when things free up a little bit. So there's two things to this. First of all, the plot of where Nightwing's going. It seems to be kicking off in Batman 55, and also might be related to Heroes in Crisis down the line. Is that Nightwing's getting shot in the head, and he's going to have amnesia and not remember any of his training, and he's going to have like I can live as a normal person and I'll feel fine. I don't want to comment on whether or not I like or dislike that plot. I dislike it for the most part, but
I don't want to comment on it, but I'm going to do it immediately anyway.
But the one point I want to make...
For those only listening to this, I'm shaking my head.
Yes.
No, because I don't like anything I'm hearing right now.
But the one point I want to make about this, though, is I think what's the worst thing about it is that the plot of Kelly Sue DeConnick's Aquaman coming up is also amnesia-based. So I just want to point that out.
Do you know what really shows how little I like this? Is I've heard this already, over the past couple of weeks. You saying it then again now, I had to stop myself going, ugh. Like it was the first time I was hearing it. It's that annoying.
The silver lining to all this, that it seems to be coming from Tom King, and he's done enough now that I trust him in whatever this idea is.
Yeah, I mean, let's say the end game of whatever this is also going to be relevant to Batman. So Tom King will start it and potentially end it when it finally gets resolved. Yeah. And basically Nightwing's solo book is basically just kind of circumstantially having to put up with it for a while. Yeah, because that's going on.
Do you know what the truly bright side is? I get to save $8 a month.
There is truth to this, but not just because of the plot. Now, don't get me wrong, I am going to read issue 51. Even given what I'm about to tell you, I'm going to read issue 51 and try it out of fairness. But I am expecting to launch it into the sun as soon as I finish reading it, because issue 51, 52, and 53, and possibly more, are written by Scott Lobdell.
Yeah, I forgot about this till just right now. And I've had a tough week. I've had a lot of bad personal stuff going on. And
this is worse.
This makes me want to throw my computer out the window right now. Because I just remembered it. Now I'm...
To be fair, you do have a new one waiting, so might as well.
I like my window too much. And also I'm moving and I'd have to pay for that window.
Yes.
I mean, open the window first.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that? You want the crash.
Knowing you're looking to bounce back.
You know, I love Superman, and I hate when people are like, "Oh, Batman has a flair for the dramatic." But when I'm angry, I too have a flair for the dramatic. So, Yeah.
That's why you dislike Batman so much.
So mad.
You're actually more like Batman than Superman. That really upsets you.
It does. No, it does. That's where it is. I want to be like Superman, but I tend to brood more like Batman.
Yeah.
Push my loved ones away because I'm angry. Superman doesn't do that. I should learn to be like Superman.
So, I know something kind of funny about this news.
Nothing.
No. Funny for me is I have a feeling I'm actually away the week that 51 comes out. So you guys might be reading a Lobdell comic that I don't read.
Hey guys, you know what to do.
Yes. Listeners,
you know what to do.
Yes, David and Tyler. Now, it's double shipping Nightwing, so if you want them to read every issue, you're going to have to both pick a Nightwing issue every month on your Connor's Corner picks.
Just through 51 to 53, they could alternate.
Yes.
One gets one gets the other. So,
Yes. There is a way to pull this off.
Yeah. So I don't want to go through Lobdell writing one of my favorite characters again, because I already dealt with that with Superman in the New 52, and I dealt with him writing Teen Titans, which is one of my favorite teams, and now he's writing one of my favorite characters in Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And I'm having I don't want to make PTSD sound like it's a small thing, but now I'm having Lobdell kind of PTSD.
Yeah, I think this was an inevitable. It's kind of amazing we got to episode 121 before we had to discuss the news of Lobdell taking over a book. Right? Because he's just been on Red Hood this entire time. He's just been on Red Hood.
It's true. Given his prominence as the go-to writer during the New 52.
Yeah. What does he have on DIdio?
A shared desire to kill Nightwing.
Oh, God.
Well, not just that. What keeps him employed at DC in this way? To where they're like, oh, we need a writer for Nightwing. Hey, Scott, you want to take that?
Do you know what this topic is reminding me of? A tweet that I have to say I can no longer respect Mitch Gerrards.
Oh, God.
Because
why would
he liked a tweet that said that Red Hood was better than Nightwing. And that's it.
Oh, all right. You know what? Mr. Miracle's getting thrown in the trash.
I have an explanation for this.
It's done.
He's too close to Darkseid, and he's really discovered the anti-life equation. So that's the only explanation. That's it. He's been affected by Darkseid. We need to save his son. Let's get on it, guys.
This is dire news. What's worse is that Nightwing was, I was like, oh, double shipping, great. Week 3 is really quiet. A Nightwing issue that week would be great. Not anymore. It's not.
now it's punishment that week.
So even if Percy, like, you think Percy, upon finding out about, let's say this amnesia story is true, do you think Percy still would have stayed on through that had he not been busy?
Oh, well, the amnesia story is not like true or not true, but it just is. It's fact. The solicits get changed.
No, I'm saying, like, it made it easier for him to blame. Like, well, we're going this different direction with Nightwing. Do you think had he not been so busy, he would have rolled with it, or still would have been like, okay, I'm not going to finish my story. Can you put me on something?
That's an interesting question, actually. I wonder if, like, he was struggling and then they told him, hey, you can't do your story for the next 10 issues. You have to do this amnesia stuff instead while something else is going on. And he's like, well, you know what? That makes my choice easy. Bye.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Because we know he can handle multiple stuff. Like, I know he's busy, but he was doing double shipping Green Arrow and single shipping Titans. So, Teen Titans. I keep calling it Titans, but that's just because we didn't have a Titans book forever, Yeah. But yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I know his Wolverine, what is it, like radio show has really taken off because some of the people I'm friends with on Facebook have found it, and they're not traditional comic fans.
So excited to listen to that. Because it was whatever service they were on. I can't remember. Deezer, maybe Stitcher.
Yeah.
It was an exclusive to there for like 6 months. It's only just started going free to listen to over the last couple of weeks. The trailer excerpts sounded fantastic.
Yeah. So, but that's cool. I'll follow Percy pretty much anywhere, whatever he does. If he has something else up his sleeve when he comes back, if it's for a different company, I'm willing to check it out. So, but it seems like it's amicable, unlike some other things that are going on at other companies.
Seems like it, yes.
It seems, and that's all you can want. Like, it's if mom and dad are fighting, you want it to seem like it's under control and that one's not trying to burn the house down.
It's amicable enough, at the very least, where Percy's happy to be civil about it on Twitter, as opposed to what you're referencing at Marvel, where at least one tweet so far from the creator who got shafted did not sound happy at all.
Oh, there's a series of tweets following that. There's like 5 or 6.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This person is on full Seth Rollins, and they're gonna burn it down.
Hey, look, I'll just say this: Chelsea Kane, if you want to come to DC, we'll take you.
Please.
We'll accept you. With welcome, open arms, warm embrace.
Pete, would you enjoy Chelsea Kane on a Batgirls book?
I think I would.
I think you would.
I think I would enjoy that.
Because the only reason I stopped reading her Mockingbird before it did get canceled was I just didn't have space with all the DC I was reading. And I'm like, I'm going to come back to this because this is a fun, nice, romp. And that's what you want in kind of Batgirls. Like, it can be serious, but you kind of want it to be like a fun, carefree romp kind of thing. Yeah. And I think she'd be perfect.
I read the first issue of that. I thought it was pretty solid, but it was something that, I thought, maybe I'll check it out and trade later down the line.
I think I made it 6 issues before I was like, I can't. It was this or give up a DC book.
If I recall, it played with the time structure quite a lot, right? Yeah.
Went back and forth, and one issue had her saving Hawkeye with a dolphin. Like, it was just kind of the,
This reminds
just zany comic book stuff.
This reminds me, actually, just we'll go on to the other comic book news in a second. But there was breaking TV news last night. This was after me and Connor recorded the TV news. So this won't be on the TV news till next week now. But it is DC. And that is apparently DC Universe are doing a Batgirl TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that and I thought of you guys.
Yeah. I don't know how to react to that right now.
After that Titans...
Let's see.
Yeah. After that Titans trailer, it's a bit hard to get excited, but...
Doom Patrol, though. Doom Patrol seems so far...
I mean, it's got a solid cast.
Cast is looking good.
Yeah, but even the costumes feel right. Like, I saw the Robot Man.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're going to do some touch-ups with CG.
This is fair, but we were praising the Robin and Hawk and Dove costumes quite a lot.
That's true. This is very true.
I stand by that. Those costumes themselves look good.
Yeah, but then the Beast Boy and Raven, Beast Boy, Raven,
Did you see an image of Jason Todd in Titans was out this week? You could see that's what the show needs. Jason Todd.
So switching to the Arrowverse real quick because you guys talked about their Lois.
Yeah. That was out enough time.
I'm pretty excited just because it's a new Lois.
There was even more.
So,
they cast Nora Freeze for the crossover today.
For reals?
Yeah, Nora Freeze.
Holy crap! This is the first time a Bat character showed up, right? Like,
well, it's a Batwoman who's coming at the same time, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, we haven't had like a Batman character show up. Really.
I mean, there's maybe some villains that are kind of like agnostic,
shared,
because they're like kind of they show up in Gotham a lot, but they're also
when you've had like Deadshot and Deathstroke.
Yeah, or Ra's al Ghul on Arrow.
Oh, to be fair, Ra's al Ghul I'd say is a Batman villain first and foremost.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. But the way that they twisted him, he could be like kind of everyone's villain.
Sure, yeah.
You know, this is not like when you think Mr. Freeze, like that's strictly Batman. So the fact that you're getting Nora there, that's wow. I did not know that. That's exciting.
I agree. Definitely nice to get a new Lois.
Yeah,
it's.
I'm not familiar with her, the actress, at all.
No,
so
me neither.
But she looks like comic book Lois, like a lot. So that's cool.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I've been playing the new Spider-Man game, and they basically made MJ into Lois, so it's cool.
Stop! I'm this close to buying a PlayStation 4 to play this game.
She's an investigative journalist.
God damn it! And she's got red hair.
Yeah. She's red-headed Lois in the game. Yeah. But the Batgirl TV show apparently is going to be a 13-episode live-action show, and to be fair, I do think Batgirl would fit better as a TV show than a movie. Even though I'll take the movie as well, I'm not going to turn it down. But
and even if it uses something that Whedon was going to do, that's cool because he knows how to do stuff for TV.
No idea what Batgirl it is, but probably Babs.
Depends if they still want to do that whole let's keep it separate from the movie thing and do a different version.
Well, given that Cass is in, because Cass is in Birds of Prey, so that would leave Steph as the candidate if they want to make it different from Babs.
Right.
Yeah. That said, we did hear rumors that maybe we'll be getting Steph in the Batwoman show.
And spoiler, probably.
Yeah.
A spoiler.
So,
just rumors though. That there's nothing to.
I'd still put money on Babs just because she's the first and prominent one.
Yeah,
but, you know. But yeah, so I just come in my head there. I was like, so we'll talk about that more in the TV news and TV from the multiverse next week. But it was fresh today, so it gets mentioned. So got a couple of miniseries announced that are starting in December. Well, both are starting in December. So the first one is they're both 12 issues. Which I really like. I like that these are characters who are a bit smaller, and it's like, well, if we started an ongoing, they probably wouldn't last that long, relatively speaking. So just saying, no, right from the start, 12-issue series. I mean, Mr. Miracle's been doing fantastic at 12 issues. Yeah. So this is what we're doing. So the first one is a Martian Manhunter miniseries, written by Steve Orlando and art by Riley Rosmo. And this is starting in December, and here's what they were saying about in an interview. Is once a re-examination of the character's origins and emotional journey, and also a detective story on Earth. In this series, John Jones will reprise his civilian identity as Detective John Jones and solve a murder as it presents a possible connection to his homeworld on Mars.
I hope there's plenty of Choco cookies.
As do I. That sounds kind of good. Like, I mean, I'm not super into Orlando as we've discussed in the past.
So remember us thinking that maybe Batman in his JLA was actually Martian Manhunter in disguise?
Yeah.
And now he's writing Martian Manhunter. It's just weird how sometimes.
Well, he did do that DCU Martian Manhunter book as well.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, people like that. I think people like that.
Yeah, people did like that.
And to be fair though,
wasn't a big fan.
People do love his JLA as well. But I mean, I do like his Supergirl.
They do.
Sorry.
People love his JLA.
Yeah, there's people on Twitter who swear by that book. They love it. They love it.
I've seen people on Twitter say Red Hood is the best book that DC.
I've also seen that.
Twitter.
People also like to put ketchup on steak, Pete. It doesn't mean everyone should do it.
Why did you direct that at me as if I do that?
I'm just saying, because you're the one that brought up that people like it. I'm just saying. Yeah. You don't put ketchup on your steak, do you?
No. I don't understand why you went to steak.
He just has it well done, like it.
Well, I wasn't bringing up the well done. I'm just saying.
I like my meat cooked, alright? I like most meat well done. Most. I guess the exception is chicken, because you don't really have chicken well done. You know, it's just do you cook it properly?
Cooked.
Yeah. It's like you cook it or you're going to be sick. It's just one or the other.
Right, exactly. Same with pork.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, but I liked Orlando Supergirl. I liked what I read of his Wonder Woman. So he does seem to be better at solo characters. So I'll definitely give this a try.
I would say more relevant here, especially with Riley Rosmo. That they were the team on Batman: The Shadow, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Snyder worked with Orlando.
That's true.
On the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, it was probably mostly Orlando, which is cool because I liked that series.
As did I.
So,
it was fun.
Yeah. So, no, this is exciting. I've seen people complain about it because of Orlando and whatnot, but I'm give them a chance. Not everything's going to be like, what's that book that none of us wanted to read?
Oh, The Unexpected?
It spun out of Super. Yeah. So, I don't think it's going to be that. It's Martian Manhunter. There's a little more kind of constraints. So let's see what he's got.
I just can't personally get that excited, especially after I didn't really enjoy his last Martian Manhunter series. I gave up after about 3 issues because it bored me.
Yeah, I never read it, and I had friends telling me I should, that it's a pretty good detective-y thing. So, but yeah.
Yeah, so that's the first one, and then the second one is a 12-issue Freedom Fighter series written by Robert Venditti and art by Eddie Barrows. This is coming in December. This will be set on Earth X, the alternate universe where Germany won World War II and America lives under the thumb of the Nazi regime. The fighters will be comprised of Human Bomb, Black Condor, Doll Woman, and Phantom Lady. Uncle Sam is absent, and part of the plot's going to be about hopefully getting Uncle Sam back, because they can reignite the passion and the hope of everyone and get Uncle Sam back on board. But yeah, so
I'm down. I love alternate histories.
Yeah, this sounds pretty fun.
I'll try it. I'm not sure. Again, Venditti, I'm not like super hot on. So
Venditti's redeemed himself a little bit to me between his Howlin' Pals, like the last section of that run, and now Hawkman. That's kind of wiped out the bad taste from his New 52 Green Lantern and Flash. So
I'm starting to wonder if those were just a symptom of, it was the New 52.
I think
possibly.
So. And I feel his Green Lantern was trying to be so different from John's. Like, it was a tough follow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
so,
it's
I trust him right now.
worth mentioning here. They're saying that all the characters will get backstories and stuff, so it sounds like it's going to be new reader friendly. You're not going to have any familiarity with the Freedom Fighters or any of the history. It'll be a complete jump on point.
Money on each issue follows a different fighter. That'll be focused and from their point of view.
I can see it.
And I wonder if this will play into stuff that happens with Doomsday Clock too, with the different multiverses. You know.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it, but you never know.
Damn it.
But you got 4 characters, so you could do like each of them would get 3, or if maybe like Uncle Sam's going to have one towards the end when he finally comes back. Maybe you know, give him one too. I don't know, but yeah. So that's the news. So there was actually news this week, which I imagine means we're getting solicits on Monday, because that typically is what happens.
Yeah, we're due them next week.
Yeah. There you go. December solicit's coming. Are we betting on a Christmas anthology one shot, or did they do that at the end of November already?
Oh, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is coming. So that's the news. So we can talk about books now. We can get onto the books. We're going to start with Detective Comics 988, James Robinson writing and Stephen Segovia on art. So this is the fill-in arc before Tomasi comes on board for his run. So wasn't sure what to expect with this. I'm expecting just kind of a random Batman arc, just whatever story he's got in the tank to do.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried as someone that didn't really enjoy his Face Two-Face. This is called Face the Face. So it gave me a little bit of flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going
to
to
say,
but
in terms of just it's going to be just a fill-in Batman story. Those are usually among the safest.
Yeah.
Of fill-ins, they're rarely. Oh, this is the best, but they're usually like, everyone's got a Batman story.
Yeah, dependable. Which is kind of how I described the issue. I think some of the dialogue's a little bit off for Batman. Now, Gordon does call him out on it a little bit and says, "Oh, you're being really candid." Yeah. But there was still a couple of lines that I felt weird coming from Batman. The art's really nice though. I like Segovia's art quite a bit.
Segovia.
Yeah.
That was good. Basically, the plot of this is that there's been a murder. and Batman goes to inspect the guy's apartment. Seems like a normal guy. That's just random person got murdered, but he goes to the apartment, and there's like a hidden room with guns and passports and all sorts of spy shit. And then Lady Firefly shows up, and Firefly's there as well, and they're burning the building to shit. So a lot of the issues, the action of him fighting the Fireflies and dodging flames and whatnot. Alfred.
It was a very quick read.
It was a very quick read.
It was a lot of action.
Yeah, Alfred's being concerned because he's upset about Selina. I did like that he's in his costume in the new one, or the old one, I suppose.
Yeah.
Depending on your perspective.
I think the dialogue with Alfred was probably some of the more awkward stuff from Bruce's end. He was like, I'm proud of you, or whatever it was. And it's just like, honestly. And it kind of just sounded a little bit weird coming from Batman.
And I get that maybe he's intentionally trying to be like, oh, he's different because of what's happened with Selina. And I do like that the wedding not happening is still impacting this story as well. Like it's still, it's impacting all the Batline, right? That's cool. Yeah. I like that. But it does feel like he's trying to make Batman sound like he's affected by what's going on, but the result just feels kind of off and weird, and not in the way it's intended, I don't think.
No.
No, but I do like Sassy Alfred going, oh, so we're talking again?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Like, I love Sassy Alfred.
Yeah, there's some weird panels of like Batman just standing like in the flames with the cape flowing and whatnot. I can't fault the art actually. The art's really enjoyable.
No, that's the title page. That double page spread of the city is gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I mean it is filler essentially. It doesn't feel like it's an important story, but as filler goes, I enjoyed reading it and it looked pretty.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a detective story, which fits Detective Comics.
Yeah, there's very little to complain about, other than, like we've said, the voice bits with Batman. But overall, it's pretty solid. It's dependable.
Yeah,
So...
Oh, yeah, funny.
No, I was just going to say... My phone's freaking out. One minute. It just started shaking. I don't know why. So
I'm glad I let you go first.
Yeah, sorry. Well, when I said that's because my phone started going off. I didn't want it to affect the recording.
Oh, right, okay.
But also, I was also going to say, in baseball, there's a stat called wins above replacement, which is how good a player is compared to a base level, like, other player. And I feel like sometimes Robinson is a replacement level, like, writer. It's like, yeah, he's good. He's not going to, win you a couple games.
He's usually right on par.
Yeah. So,
and you get times where he's really not, and
then
we have to sit through Wonder Woman.
Well, if Jason the brother shows up next issue, or even Jason
I'll
Todd,
allow it.
If any Jason shows up,
I'll allow it. I'll allow it if the Fireflies attack him.
burn them,
if any Jason other than Jason Blood shows up, and then we get Etrigan and Batman together, that could be cool.
I'll be down for that.
But I don't think so, because at the end of this issue, we get Cobra, and that's who's behind all this.
Yeah, whoever the guy that got murdered was, he seems to be involved with Cobra, and they're ready to rise. And it's a very gruesome scene, actually. You see them they're in this like penthouse with a swimming pool, and behind them there's like these bodies like basically nailed to the wall. These corpses just hanging there bloody. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Cobra's cool.
Cobra, a.k.a. not Hydra. Right? That's how I've always felt about Cobra.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
As you do.
So,
there's even a scene where Batman saves a little dog.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a very replacement level. It was enjoyable, and I like when Batman can just have a detective story from time to time. Yeah. And so this one doesn't seem like it's too elaborate either, because sometimes Robinson, when he's writing Batman, can try to get a little too twisty and turny. And this seems like it's just the right amount.
I think he knows he's got one arc. Let's just get in, get out, just tell a basic story. Nothing overcomplicated.
Yeah. What he doesn't want is people going, oh no, Robinson's on this book. Just kind of like we were doing with Lobdell a minute ago with Nightwing. It's like, oh no, Lobdell's on it, burn it. Burn it to the ground.
Definitely not feeling that.
No. Yeah. This is right. We should rate it. What are you giving it, Matt?
That's a solid 7. The art really kicks it up.
Yeah, we got Connor.
It's funny. I would have agreed with that if the art wasn't so fantastic that it pushes it up to an 8.
Oh dear, 8.
Just the art alone is gorgeous.
No, I'm going to go with a 7. I'm going to agree with Matt on this. I think the voice being a little off is a bit weird, but I think it was a solidly enjoyable book. I wouldn't say I'm excited for the next issue, but I'm like, I'm not going to be like miserable that I have to read it. It's not going to be like, oh, I've got that this week.
Yeah, I put this off a while because I was like, okay, this could be rough. You know, you never know. But now, next time, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll be right in the middle of the pack, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's not going to be near the top because, busy week.
It's Doomsday Clock, Heroes in Crisis, and Justice League Odyssey week. Yes, there's a lot of things happening. But yeah, so we'll move on to Superman issue 3. Obviously, Bryan Michael Bendis writing with Ivan Reis on the art. Matt's still fighting with his phone. So yeah, this was continuing the chaos because Earth's in the Phantom Zone, and Star Labs might be responsible for it. Because we actually start with a really funny scene where Livewire shows up because she wants to steal their stuff and use their expertise. And they're basically ignoring her because they're too busy with the fact that there's a crisis going on. I was like, this is not a good time, Livewire. Go away, come back and rob us later.
Yeah.
That's basically the
well, and I like the idea that it might be Star Labs. It's not some supervillain plot to plunge Earth into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem to be anyone in the Phantom Zone. They all seem to be just as shocked by the fact that the Earth is now in here. Which is part of the subplot is that they try and take down Rogol Zar, and Rogol Zar beats them back, and then by the end of the issue convinces them to follow him, to be his lead, let him be the leader. So we actually end the issue with Rogol Zar, a double-page spread of Rogol Zar leading an army of Phantom Zone convicts towards Earth.
And it's not just any Phantom Zone convict he runs into.
Yeah,
it's Jack Sword, who in many continuities he's the first person sentenced to the Phantom Zone for destroying Krypton's moon with his mad science,
which is referenced here as well, which is cool. I do wonder though, because we know he hates Kryptonians. Like, is he going to turn around and kill him or something at some point?
Well, my enemy is my friend. He's useful right now.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm expecting a double cross from Zar just because. Yeah, okay, he's useful right now, but later.
Well, that would cement him as a super big bad if he takes out Jax or, just because he's Kryptonian.
Yeah. There was a lot of fun scenes because there's a lot of the Justice League running around still trying to solve problems. There's a great page of a plane coming down, Superman catching it. Batman and Flash and some of the other heroes are getting sick. Everyone's getting sick because they're in the Phantom Zone, and the clash of atmospheres is basically messing with them all.
Poisoning everybody.
There's a great joke where someone says, "Hey, if we're in here, if the Earth's in the Phantom Zone, then what about where Earth was?" And it cuts to a page of Adam Strange just showing up, being like, "All right, guys, this isn't funny.
Yeah,
where's the Earth,
guys? It's Adam Strange, from Rand."
Yeah,
it was kind of sad, but also hilarious.
It was glorious. I love how effortlessly he's kind of incorporating the whole DCU. Speaking of funny pages, there's a page where there's all this looting going on, all these random people just stealing stuff, and Superman just lands in the middle of the street and says, "Put it down, cut it out now," and flies off, and then everyone just starts taking everything back once he leaves.
But what sells that joke is the guy goes, "See, told you he'd find out." Good. That was my moment of the book where I laughed. It was so good. Just Superman coming down, knock it off, and then flying back away. And Jimmy's there taking pictures, which I love.
Yeah. So like I say, he's incorporating the whole DCU. We've got both the Atoms, we've got Mr. Terrific, and we've got Will Magnus all trying to figure out and help, find a way out of the Phantom Zone.
Will Magnus, I'm more of a robotics guy.
Yeah.
As is out to not save the Earth. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really, DC mad science stuff, and you have Superman trying to solve this all and coming to terms with this, this might be Star Labs' fault for messing with something that they shouldn't have because he's made it easy. I almost feel like Superman's taking credit because he's made it easy for them to toy with alien technology by allowing them access to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's at that point in the book where he feels that Zar's coming, so he flies out into space, and there he is with his army. Now this was another glorious issue. This was the art's great, of course. Again, it's full of those big moments. It's funny, as typical with Bendis, he's really good at pacing out the story. Where when you actually stop and look at it after you've read it, you go, the actual advancement in that issue wasn't that much. Not really. We see that everyone's trying to deal with a crisis. We get some implications to who might be responsible, and it sets up Zar building his army on Phantom Zone. But that's pretty much it.
And yeah, it takes a break from the main plot to focus on characters, which I think Bendis handles really well.
Which, yeah, I like that a lot. I like that he takes the time to focus on the characters.
Yeah, because it raises the stakes without having to overdo everything. Like, we know, like, even if we didn't get Tsar's army at the end, like, we know the stakes now because everybody on Earth is getting poisoned by this. Like, even Martian Manhunter's being affected by it, you know? So, but yeah, no, again, Bendis is killing it on Superman.
Yeah, no, I'm into it. I'm into it. Yeah. Also, seeing Superman call Batman for help and Batman just like sitting next to the toilet throwing up is like, no, not now, Clark. Yep. No.
Yeah, because he's still only human.
It's not happening.
He has physical, limits.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, so no, it was a really good issue. Quick discussion in this one. I don't think it introduced like a ton of elements, outside, compared to the last couple, but that don't take that as a criticism in any way, because it was a blasted read and full of big heroic moments. And Superman doubting himself that maybe he's somehow responsible, and Star Labs maybe being responsible is an interesting twist into the story. I'm really curious to see what the actual effect was, because we think it's Star Labs now, but I feel like by the end of the story we're probably going to get a different culprit. Something else will have caused this. I don't know what, but no, so it's cool. So what are you giving it? What are you giving Superman?
Oh, this was a 9. The art, the story, everything. Yeah.
It's a middle chapter, so I'm going to be a little lower and say it's a solid 8. Solid 8.
Sure.
So there you go. Superman. That'll take us out of The Flash, number 54. Joshua Williamson writing, Christian Duce on art. We left off last time with the Flash hulking out with the Strength Force, and of course Trickster's also hulked out, and Commander Cold's willing to shoot both of them with his ice gun. So that's kind of the big fight. Yeah, that's what we're dealing with the first half of the issue, is this big fight, and Barry learning to control basically realizing that, when I got my Speed Force powers, like, I thought it was all just about running fast, but then I learned there was more elements to it. There was there was phasing, there was controlling it, there was all these things.
Right.
So he learns that he can actually, if he calms down and focuses, he can actually control the gravity field around him, and he ends up abusing this. Ultimately, though, basically what he does is he goes at Trickster so hard that they both burn themselves out of the Strength Force, because they've got a finite amount of it, and they just, end it. And then Trickster looks like he's maybe dead, but then shock twist, the original Trickster.
He's a candy bar superhero.
Yes.
I'm picturing it now.
Yeah.
I think that'd work. The golden red color scheme. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Didn't we used to have Twix adverts in the middle of the DC books?
I think so.
Sounds like a thing.
I don't think we ever had the Twixter.
I feel like they missed a beat there.
Yeah.
Either that, or it's a movie called Twixter where it's a tornado but with like lots of Twixies.
I'd watch it.
I'm not mad at that either.
Matt will go in head first. He's like, yes, take me till Valhalla.
Like that scene in Twister where they just lash themselves down to a pipe and let the tornado go? That's me, and I'm just snatching Twixes.
These Twixes in this hypothetical Twister.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they unwrapped already? Can I just bite out and get a bite of Twix? Okay, then I'm in.
Okay.
Yes, they are unwrapped, and 1 in 10 is the peanut butter Twix to make it a bit of variety.
I'm swatting those down because I don't like those.
Oh no, I love them. Great.
I like peanut butter cups, Reese's Pieces, but keep that out of my Twix.
They're okay, but can't be a
cookie, chocolate,
Twix.
and caramel.
I think the biggest mistake with the peanut butter Twix is that it's the biscuit and the peanut butter. I wanted the caramel and the peanut butter mixed together. That's what I wanted. That's what I was there for.
Discussion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out Twix. Anyway, so Flash hulking out and stuffs, and original Trickster showing up at the end, which is fun, which is cool. So that's ended the mini arc.
Yeah, we haven't seen him since even before the New 52, right?
Oh yeah.
It's just been Axel.
I can't remember the last time I saw him before.
I don't remember seeing him in the New 52.
Yeah, I don't either. So this is a nice spin on things. And he lost his cool concrete arm because you see Flash pull that out of the wreckage.
Yeah, because it was Axel in the John's Wally run, right? It was Axel the whole time in that as well, wasn't that? Yeah.
It was Axel, because James Jesse was FBI agent. He broke good.
Aha, that's right.
He's the one that instigates the Rogue War. I just read this last month.
That's
so
why you remember this and I don't.
Yes.
Exactly. So, but yeah, Johns had created Axel so he could do the stuff with James Jesse and stuff. But here, I like that twist. I'm not still sure about the forces. I still feel they're a little bit too, because this starts with Williamson in Barry's voice talking about all the weird stuff that's happened to him as Flash. Like he's been turned into a living puppet, or his brain got so big. And it really is about all those Silver Agey things. And I feel these hunt for these different forces is also very Silver Agey, to where it's kind of, he wants us to take it serious, but it's inherently goofy.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit hokey, isn't it? And it's maybe taking itself a little too seriously for the concept. And we're going to go on a Force quest.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
No, I mean,
well, we shall see. I have no idea what's going to be in that Force quest. I mean, I'm kind of digging it. No, I don't think this arc is anywhere near as good as Flash War or Perfect Storm, which came right before that. Those two arcs back to back are definitely the pinnacle of the run so far. Yeah. And here's the thing, though. I don't like. I'm reading this. I'm kind of enjoying it, and I'm having some fun with the various elements. Iris keeping the fact that she remembers being married is a fun little dramatic point to make.
And Barry knows she's keeping something,
which is a nice twist because that was traditionally the other way around. So it's nice for him to feel that for a change. And I actually really like that panel at the bottom of that page when he walks away and there's just flames. Like his shadow is just flames.
It's the best panel in the book.
Absolutely,
far and away.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But
because I think the art is in this issue is mostly it's fine, right? It's pretty good, but I don't think there's anything stand out.
No, the I forget what artist you're talking about that draws the ear wings weird.
Yeah,
I feel this artist does that too with these. It was kind of driving me, like, I understood it when it was the hulked out, Strength Force Flash, but when he shrank down and it didn't, it looked like they were just added.
They're too long and they curve in a really weird way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but his hulked out, creatures, I guess, of Trickster and Flash looked good, and I like the not fight scene between them.
Yeah, I thought
they kind of fight, but then. Go ahead, Pete.
I thought Wolf looked good as well, just on his art.
Yeah.
Very expressive.
Yeah. But I like the way that the climax happened where Axel sacrifices himself to save the other rogues. Because, he's always been the rogue's little brother. They always pick on him. He's never been like, he's a rogue, but he's still the least experience. I'm trying to think of things. Like, he's the freshman, and they're all the seniors. And he's just always kind of tagging along. But here he was willing to sacrifice himself. And as far as everyone else knows, he died saving them. So, and we all know that the rogues have their own sense of honor. So
that was a good beat for his character. That's a very good point. Because him doing that, there was like a sense of honor in what he was doing there, which, up until that point, like Trickster through this arc has been kind of this whiny little kid who's just like, I've got this strength, haha. Oh no, I'm dying. Flash, help me. This was like a sign of agency where he's like, no, I don't want to let my fellow rogues die. And that was nice. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That was a good beat for him.
I feel like the rogues are kind of like juggalos, where they do some pretty awful shit, but at the end of the day, they have each other's backs no matter what. Because they're a family. So that's what this reminded me of. Just minus the face paint, of course.
Yes. As far as the Force Quest goes, I'm curious to see what it does. But I think even if you're not loving this arc as much as the last couple, I think because we saw it go through so many arcs up until those like two fantastic ones, I'm confident whatever this is ultimately building to is going to be worth the payoff.
Yeah. I don't think this is bad by any means. It just feels okay. This is the standard, right? Yeah,
sure.
And if this is the standard,
because we've had far worse arcs in this. I mean, it's still the shade stuff.
Oh sure.
Still sticks out, but it's just like I said. It's Williamson's trying to make the Silver Age stuff very sincere, and I appreciate him doing that. But it just some things you just can't make sincere, and I feel like these different forces, because I didn't realize like the Speed Force wasn't a thing until Wade. Like that was all the whole idea of the Speed Force came out of Mark Wade.
Oh yeah, that wasn't there in the Silver Age or anything like that. That was a later thing. Yeah. He
just ran fast for whatever reason, and I had forgotten all this.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Maybe I read too many comic books, and like stuff files itself away so far back. But yeah, so we know there's the Sage Force. Is there any other ones? Is it just those two, the Strength and the Sage? Because that's what we saw Zoom.
Still Force.
And the still, right. But that one's been activated so far, so I'm wondering if he has anything else up his sleeve.
For all we know right now, there's 4. There's Speed, Strength, Still, and Sage. All begin with S. So
right.
we have those. So we'll see what it does. But we know we're getting the Sage next, so we'll see how that affects Flash. I did like the element of having like another thing that goes along with the strength though, the gravitational pull and the weight element to it. I like that because it was kind of because the Speed Force has those other quirks to it as well. It's not just running fast. There's the lightning. There's the things you can do with the speed. There's all these other little things. So
you can steal speed. Like he was stealing gravity from him, and he made Axel float, which is pretty cool.
It makes me intrigued as to what are the other things going to have on the side, because they're all going to have something clearly.
Well, I'm sure Sage Force is going to have traditional telepathic, telekinetic kind of stuff with it. So I'm thinking like a Jean Grey type. You know, it can kind of do all these things.
Yeah.
Flash Phoenix Force, come on, we're getting it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel this is building to. I feel like if someone can harness all of these different, they are the DC's version of the Phoenix. You know.
Then that's what brings Jay Garrett back.
See, I was thinking with the Sage Force, how we get Max Mercury.
Oh yeah.
You know, because he was the Zen master of the Speed Force.
Don't get me wrong.
So,
I would count on Jay being back in issue 100. I wouldn't say it before then. I think it'll be.
Oh yeah, because we're getting that JSA stuff in Doomsday Clock this month, right? That's the Lantern. So
yeah, issue 7. The reason why I say that though is because I know that because he's got such a long run planned. I feel, and we got like the big moments in 50 and 25. I feel like there'll be a big thing in 100, and I feel like if Jay's not back by then, that'll be 100.
I think it depends on where it falls with Doomsday Clock and the JSA stuff.
Oh, sure, but
I mean,
yeah,
Jay could come back, but Barry might not know. It's kind of like Impulse. We got that little tease.
Yeah,
and neither Flashes know that he's running around right now. So like, I could see a tease in 75 of the helmet and stuff again, or something like a different time, and you see him running around World War II stuff. You know, and then him fully come back within 100, like Pete's saying.
Actually, I mean, that's almost looks like a bad joke because of what's going on in Batman. But I do actually think you could almost have Barry and Iris getting married in 100, given what they're doing right now, and that they're sort of remembering their old life. And I could see them making that choice at some point, and that could be an issue 100 thing.
I agree. I think where they're already at in that story, 100 might be too dragged out for it.
You think?
I think you can see that more in 75.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But I think it'll happen, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
And a prominent number, no less. But anyways, what are you giving?
I'm worried about Wally in Heroes in Crisis. The closer this gets, the more worried about Wally I am.
Don't start me, Matt. Don't start me.
I mean, he's no Kyle Raynor, who has the easiest odds of who's ended up dead.
Oh no!
So
Kyle and Wally
we've got lanterns to spare, and Kyle is the first on the chopper.
Yeah.
Oh god, no, Guy. Get rid of Guy.
No. Who's gonna cry about
Guy's
Kyle?
too different to everyone else.
No, Kyle must remain alive, as must Wally, obviously.
Guy's the type that hears about Sanctuary. He's like, I don't need that hippie bullshit. Like he'll just deal with his stuff, punching out people in a bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't understand you two at times. Anyway, rate the book. Flash number 54. Matt.
Connor, you go first.
What?
No. That's not how this works.
Yes, Matt.
You got called upon.
All right, so this was an 8.
Connor.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. It was 7.
Yeah, I'll say 7 as well. I think it was a 7. There was a weaker issue of the Flash, but when your weaker issue is a 7, you're doing pretty well, I guess is what I'm saying. So cool. That'll take us on to Catwoman number 3, Joelle Jones, writing and on most of the art, although there's a flashback sequence by, I think it's Fernando Blanco, I think. Which
I like when they do that. I like when it's a different story within the story, so, you know, if an art thing needed to happen.
Yeah, well, it was a neat way. I mean, let's say it was kind of intentional, where, okay, like, I'm going to fall behind every couple issues, so I'll make sure there's a flashback or something that can be given to another artist, so it doesn't feel weird.
Yeah, it's not just like where we get random pages by a different artist. Like there's a purpose. This looks different. So, but I will say that the more that Joelle Jones writes and draws this, I think the better the art looks. Because I think she's hitting her groove now. Because her pages in this I thought looked really good, and it's not like there's a whole lot of action either.
Yeah,
so
we start the issue where we left, because last time we ended with her going to this. It ended up being with the Creel's son, right? And he's basically there to say, hey, our family owns this town. Nothing happens here without our say so. And we're okay with you being here, but you're going to have to agree to some rules. And Selena being Selena's like, I'm just here for some personal stuff. I'm not sticking around. Like, I'm not following your rules. So she has
also
to
like, oh, you want me to follow the rules? I'm not following your rules.
Yes. So she has a hasty exit, although she gets mad because her smoke pellets don't work. They don't go off. They just kind of fizzle out, and she's like, "Damn it, shoddy smoke bombs!
Run away!"
Yeah. This is the thing. You're living with Batman. All those smoke bombs are going off. They are primed and ready. They are the quality smoke bombs.
That's Fox Tech though. Yeah. That's a different breed.
This is black market
whether it
crap.
was Luke Fox or his dad. Yeah.
So she does that, and do you know what I really liked about this is she gets kind of hurt as she gets like thrown out the window, and then later on when she's like, I'm suiting up and going outside, and we see she's in the bath and she's kind of like bruised and cut all over. I like it when she goes back out in her suit and she's like, going along the skyline and she's like jumping across the rooftops. She actually at one point she stops and goes, like she's actually in pain. She's struggling to do her Catwomaning. And I like that. I like that she's being human right now, and that was a nice touch. That was cool. And then her sister's there.
The old woman. Oh yeah. We end up seeing her sister that's in a asylum.
Yeah, in a wheelchair at the end of the issue. So we're doing some personal stuff, and we have not seen her sister in a long time.
I think since the Brubaker stuff that made her go insane because of Black Mask.
Was she not in Gotham City Sirens? I would say, or was that the same time or before?
I don't remember. No, the Brubaker stuff was mid-2000s.
Right, okay.
Gotham City Sirens was later, or it might have been even earlier 2000s. But that's the last time I remember hearing about her sister. So I don't know. So if anybody knows, hit us up.
Yeah, it's been a long time anyway. So it's nice.
I don't even remember her sister's name.
What I like about it is that it means that Jones has plans beyond just. I mean, even though I really like that Selena's feeling the effect of the wedding stuff, because I like that it's impacting both her and Bruce in different books, but I like that there's something more specific to Selena planned for the book, and that's kind of nice.
It's very much more standalone. It's not really tied to Batman outside of it being Catwoman. Like this is Selena's book. This is her story. So, and it would make sense that she has some residual effects from the wedding, but that's not what this is only about.
Yeah. Although I feel like maybe the reason why she felt the need to come and see her sister is probably as a result of that. I can see that being part of the motivation, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
The flashback we get is actually the Creel woman.
Origin.
I can't remember. What was her first name?
Yep. I can't remember. I just call her the old lady.
Yeah, the old lady. So her husband, who's dropping out of the senator or the mayor race or whatever position he's going for, he's dropped out.
I think.
Yeah, he's dropped out because he has got cancer, and he asks her to tell him about her first husband. And what she tells him doesn't quite line up with the art that we see. We see the story of her murdering her husband when she says, he committed suicide and she got his money, and is really quite dark and sinister.
Not just murder, but completely take out his whole family till that she's all that he has left, and then finally...
Yeah, because
takes him out.
They're doing that Sixth Sense thing where you think the mom's poisoning all the kids, but it's secretly her. Yeah. We know it's secretly her, and then she eventually kills him. And basically, she's like, I pulled strings behind your back. I did all these criminal activities to make sure your campaign went well. Things you never knew about. So you get the impression that he doesn't know about all the crime side of the family and what they're doing. And she's like, well, now what are you good for? And she takes out a syringe and goes to kill him. So, Governor candidate Creel ain't looking so hot after this issue.
No, not too much. And we'll see her spin it to where she gets to run.
I think so. I think she's going to go. Yeah.
I like that Selena has a proper villain here. That it complements her very well. Because this could have easily been Selena in a different, timeline. her doing stuff like this, because we saw that in King's whole Sideways universe with Booster.
Oh sure, yeah, that was a bit more rabid, I think. Whereas this is a more calculated, kind of vindictive thing. And I think what I do like though is that it isn't just evil Selina. It's not just like the evil version of Catwoman. It's not reverse Catwoman. It's someone who has a very malicious and different style. And I think there's a neat idea that she married into money, because Selina almost married into money. So there's some parallels to make there, and how different she is because of how she treats it. So it's interesting.
I still don't get what the Creels are doing, dressing all those girls up like Catwoman. I'm still not 100% what that actual plan was. Basically, outside to draw her out, but that seems like a lot of work.
Well, that's basically what he says at the start. She just says to him, you got my attention with all the stupid Catwoman outfits, and he's like, yeah, I admit that was my idea. And that sounds like the end of it. It doesn't sound like something we're going to be coming back to.
No, but it seemed like at the beginning that was going to be like these whole imposters are, so that was a weird story choice, I think. Like, because it was a big red herring.
Yeah, it was a red herring. So, that's the way to put it. Yeah. No, this issue was pretty good. It flowed quite. It's probably the best flowing issue of the three, I think, so far.
Yeah.
I'd say that much.
But, her art is definitely picked up in the first issue.
It seemed like the corrupt cop was actually wanting to help her, because he tried to whisper to her during the fight, "Hey, I can help you," and she doesn't listen to him and hits him anyway. But I think that'll be something we come back to, that he's actually trying to change allegiances or play both sides or whatever he's doing. So worth noting out. As you say, Joelle Jones's art's pretty damn good at the best of times. So,
like you said, that expression of her wincing, because she fell out of that roof, landed on a car and gets up and still walks away. So to see her in all that pain, she nails the expressions.
Yeah, so. And the place she's staying, it's a bit on the nose, the metaphor, but referring to her as a stray, and the guy shouldn't get attached and want to take care of her. So it's a bit on the nose because she's Catwoman, cats, but still, it works. It works.
But it fits. I like it.
Yeah. What are you giving it? What are you rating it?
This was an 8. I thought I liked the backstory of the governor's wife and how dark and twisted that was, and I liked the art and all the stuff with Selina in this one. That was really, really good.
Cool. 7.5 for me, I think. I don't think I go quite as high as the 8, but I think it's on an upwards trend, which is nice. That's cool. And Connor just forgot to read this. It's not that he didn't want to, just for the record.
Yeah, it does say a little bit though, because I like the last 2 issues well enough. Yeah. But it says a lot about my priorities with the book that I didn't even register that I hadn't read it until like 5 minutes before we started.
I do want to point out that this was originally solicited for last week, and at least Comixology, if you go to the new books released from DC this week, it's not in the list because they've still got it marked as last week. So,
wow.
Oh, Matt, your mic's gone. But so I don't know if whatever list you were looking at just excluded it, and maybe that's why you kind of missed it. But
maybe I missed it. Yeah, I just. You were going through the list of books that we cover in the show. That we every week before the show we do that. And then I just went, shit, no, I just didn't read it. Just didn't even notice.
All right, that'll take us on to Plastic Man number 4. Gail Simone writing, Adriana Melo on the art. So this is issue 4 of the 6-issue mini. And this was, me and Connor read this, right?
Yes.
Right, okay. Just double checking. So a lot more of the same stuff. He's working with a kid, Pedo. Is that the right name? Pedo? I think it was Pedo. And he's determined to get him clothes and stuff like that. And he ends up calling Obscura as if it's an emergency. He's like, hey, come down here right now, it's an emergency. And she comes rushing down, and he's like, hey, do you like this dress or that dress? And kind of going back to the idea that
one's like a cowboy outfit, I think. And
one's a sailor
outfit.
And then he's kind of ignoring the fact that the kid clearly wants to be, or at least because he acknowledges that he's still finding himself, but he clearly wants to be more of a male. And Obscura says, "What would you want to wear?" And he's like, "Oh, boy clothes, not stupid ones." It's like, okay, fine,
normal ones.
Yeah.
This is all because he's, Plasma's like, "Hey, shouldn't you be in school?" It's like, okay, you need clothes for school.
Also, at one point he says, "What are you anyway? 5?" And he's like, "I'm 11." I can't tell. Kids all look the same.
I just want to say, this is one of the only comics in a long time to make me just burst out laughing. I was reading this in bed, and my girlfriend was asleep, and I just burst out laughing at a page, and I was like, "Shit, quiet."
As you
It
do.
was that bit there where the kid says, boy clothes but normal ones. She sent him, it's like, oh yeah, go fill a cart of whatever you want. The kid runs off shouting "wang," and then Plastic's going, "Wait, you can just talk to them like they're a tiny human being?" And the art in all of them of him just going, "What is going on?" is fantastic.
Yeah.
So the kid running off and yelling "Wang" made me laugh because I have zero context for it. So I just see a kid running down an alley going "Wang."
That's pretty much it. Arms up, good.
Wang. Oh, that's his thing though. He likes the word "wang." There's like a montage of him trying to be a hero, so he's like doing little petty crimes and stuff, and like stopping pickpockets and all sorts of things. There's also the villain who, remember last issue, he intentionally tried to recreate the experiment that created Plastic Man with his girlfriend by shooting her next to a tank full of the chemicals. And we see that the result's a bit different. She's got like all this rocky skin, so he's getting her ointment because she feels dry and itchy. And I'm like, man, you're awful. But it's very like, over the top and silly pulpy. And that's kind of what I love about this book. The sense of humour, the pulpiness, the art's really expressive, and all that's still true in this issue. I like how the two strippers go to investigate the murder, and they go to this professor they know, and they're like, hey, can we speak to you, Professor? He's like, oh, do I know you two ladies? And like, oh, you probably don't recognise without the mask. And then one of them puts on a Batman mask and one puts on a Hot Girl mask. And like, yeah, we wear these masks and we give you lap dances. The bit that made me laugh though is if you help us with this bit of evidence, the next lap dance and the next crisis on Infinite Laps is on the house. Crisis on Infinite Laps.
Good lord, Gail Simone.
Joe's funny about this is that I want this strip place to exist and I want to visit it. Not for the strippers, just for the pun. I want to see what they call everything. I want the menu. I want to see what the drinks are called. I want.
Speaking of, shout out for the cover where he's in the strip club and it's one of them dressed as Supergirl saying, "Are you ready for another green lantini?" I thought yes.
So Simone's done a club like this in Secret Six, where they had people dressed up as different superheroes that you could go watch because they took Scandal Savage there to try to get over Knockout. And she ended up falling in love with a girl that looked just like Knockout, which led to some stuff. I don't know if you guys had read Secret Six, but that was all during Simone's run too.
I have not, although funny enough, Secret Six do have a cameo on this book. In this
issue.
They? Yeah.
They do, yeah.
3 of them, not all 6, but 3 of them do.
Yeah.
But still.
Something that dawned on me, in that bit where they pull out the masks, the Hawk Girl mask really looks like Wolverine. Seriously, look at it in that page. It's like it looks like a Wolverine mask.
I'm going back. I'm swiping.
The yellow and the black and the point. It just does.
I don't know, I'm swiping back. It's actually further back than I thought here. Oh, I'm not actually.
Yeah,
I think it's later than I thought, actually. I assumed I was past it, and I am not. I wanted to mention briefly the when he grabs Obscura and does some tango, and it almost feels like she's starting to flirt with him a little bit. Like she's kind of into it, and she's like, "This is being silly." There's a little heart above her head after the tango moment, and it's kind of like, she's kind of getting into it. Unfortunately, though, the big twist later on is that she faked like the stuff from last issue or the second issue where all the kidnapping happened because he finds the voice changer on her persons, and it was her voice that was talking to him during the whole kidnap scene. And basically she was trying to like fake it to convince him that, hey, this Cabal's real, but now he doesn't believe her. But of course the end of the issue reveals the Cabal does exist, and it's like a team of supervillains.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing. We got Dr. Psycho, we got Amazo, I think's there, and then
Hugo Strange is
there. Good stuff. By the way, when he's fighting the Secret Six trio, I love that one of them's Plastic Man's got like a sharp teeth. I don't even know what he's supposed to be beyond just a big cartoony monster.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. It's good
stuff.
Is.
Man, this book's so much fun.
It's really fun. It's really good. It's a blast. I was laughing a lot during this week. the relationship with the kid's really good. Obscura's actually turned into kind of a sweet relationship, which is funny because when she first showed up, I didn't really care about her. But this issue, it's like, she's kind of likable now.
It's kind of tragic at the end, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't believe her anymore. So, but at the end, he should forgive her because he's a bit of a loser, and he should understand that people can be losers and get better because he's Plastic Man. That's kind of his whole thing. So, it makes a lot of sense. So, that was good.
Did you find the page with the masks?
I didn't. I'll look for it now. Since you're so
Disgrace.
determined. Since you're so determined.
You should be able to swipe and talk at the same time.
I did swipe and talk, but I swiped almost through the whole thing in both directions. I must have just missed...
Right in the middle. If that helps. Just before the middle of the book.
It probably... I'm getting there. Hot dogs, ice cream... Oh, here we go. When she pulls it out. Okay, it's kind of Wolverine on its own.
Yeah, without the rest of it, just that there, the yellow and the black and the shape, it kind of reminds me of Wolverine.
It's too wide, of course, because it's it's the hawk ears rather than the...
It is, yeah.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. But no, Hawkman's
I'd never had that connection before until this panel.
If we're getting to ratings here, I'm solid 8.5 for me. Really like this.
I'm going in with a 9.
Oh, there you go.
This.
Wow.
There you go. Plastic Man is pleasing the peoples. All right, so we will move on then to Supergirl, issue 22. Marc Andreyko on the art, writing rather, and Kevin Maguire on the art.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Matt loved the last issue of this, the first part of this run. And this was Supergirl going to Mogo to look into the redacted Green Lantern files, and the axe that she got from Rogel's art actually blows up the ship before they get there. They're very close by, admittedly. They're close enough that John and Kyle come out and kind of retrieve her and say, "Hey, what's up, Supergirl? Why are you here? And why did you blow up your ship?" That was a bit crazy. I love this as well, Matt. This was another great issue.
So did I.
Super into
all the
it.
stuff with crypto. Like,
oh God, yes.
I love what's going on there because her like having to wake him up as they get closer to Mogo, and then worrying about him after the ship blows up.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he has superpowers, but he's still just a dog. But
also
him chasing Badge. So Badge shows up.
Yeah.
He's, the squirrel-looking lantern.
That's good.
And
also,
course,
the expression on his face when the axe goes supernova, he gives it this sort of like side eye, like he's like, "What's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here?" My favorite part of art, though. My favorite part of art here, though, might be after the ship blows up, and like the axe is floating in space, and Supergirl goes to touch it. She has this really apprehensive, like, kind of like, "I'm going to touch it" face.
Yeah.
Which was really funny, and then she's like, sort of like, okay, nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening?
Yep.
It's very expressive. It's a very bright, bold, colourful comic. Really digging it. And she actually gets her nighttime outfit in this one. Well, I say gets. She has it. It's like a stealth outfit she puts on because she's going to sneak into the records. Because she's offered full access to the main records, but she wants into the secret redacted records, so she has to stealth up with a black hood and sneaks in. It's all good stuff.
And she runs into one of the keepers of the halls of the Green Lanterns that kind of recognizes the axe because she also finds out here that it like shape changes.
Yeah.
So it becomes more like a tomahawk.
Yeah,
when he pushes the button.
It shrinks into it's almost like a Transformer movie-esque like transformation into this smaller axe. Yeah. It's really cool. I like how silent it goes. See when it turns out of that still section at night time, I like that it goes completely silent. There's no speech bubbles.
None. No sound effects. Just
Yeah, it's just her sneaking around in the silent art. Also, when the Green Lantern show up to fight her in the record room, because the axe once again starts going nuts, but it's a different kind of nuts. It goes big and red, and it starts to pulse. And when the Green Lantern show up to fight her, she just yells out "Crypto," and you just see like Crypto wake up and like speed off out the room.
Yeah.
This was really good stuff. I was super into this book. There's such a fun, pulpy pace to this Supergirl pair of issues so far. That's really drawn me in. And then what she eventually finds, the axe turns super red, and it teleports her out of the room, out of the record room. And the Guardian, who was on the secret society, the Circle, that knew Rogel's art, in the flashbacks that we've been getting in Superman, he's there, and he's like, "Hey, if you're here and you're seeing this this is my last testament, and here's what's happened. This secret circle exists, and I have to tell you what happened and who you're going to have to go look for. So she's got into the secret information. She's here, and this Guardian clearly feels guilty about what's going on. I think he even says the blood on his hands or something like that. This is the first to show the shadows. Cabal. Soaked in the blood of billions.
Unleashed struggles are.
Yeah, soaked in the blood of billions. That was the phrase I was looking for. So no, I was really into this. I like Andreyko's voice for Supergirl.
Me too.
I like it a lot.
She feels like she has some authority, but she's still unsure about herself. You know, so like there's this faux confidence to her, but you can tell she's just kind of faking it till she makes it, and I like that. Yeah,
and then the relationship with Crypto's really sweet, and the way he's used Crypto so far in the story has been very effective. And again, very like you say, that moment where he's chasing Badge is really good.
Because at the end of the day, he's still a dog. Like, he's a dog with superpowers, but if he sees a small animal, he's chasing him. My dogs live with my cat for years now, and there's still that moment where they'll still try to chase the cat, no matter what. Like, so it's very, very much in the nature. But yeah, the art, Maguire, just it's fantastic. So everything you mentioned, the expressions, but just everything here, like the last page with Opsa, it's properly menacing.
Oh,
like
great.
Something bad's happened.
Now, like I say, the stealth pages look great because it shifts to the dark and the hood, and you completely get what's happening. Like I say, the super expressive when she's like testing the axe earlier on, and it's just. It plays with all these moments without dialogue, but then the dialogue is so good as well. It's like she really feels like right in character. So, no, I am like so shocked how good the Supergirl book is so far.
Yeah, definitely. I just like having a Supergirl book to read, you know, and the fact that it's so good, you know, like I mean, for it to pick up on all the threads of Man of Steel that we've seen, I like that because that means Bendis is free to focus on the stuff that he wants to, even though he set some of these up by changing the Superman mythos a little, you know. Well, this is picking up on those threads that we saw.
They're clearly like working together. This is clearly something that is like the Superman family of books is clearly working in sync here with this stuff. But Andreyko's doing a really good job, and I'm glad Supergirl's back, and it's this damn good. Like, it really is. The character feels right. The art's great. It's expressive. It's fun. It's pulpy. Crypto's got great moments. The interactions with all the characters are really good. It's got a sweetness to it. As much as Kara can get angry, and there's moments in this issue where she's getting kind of testy with people, but in her narration she's like, "Oh, I'm being a little bit." She's acknowledging to herself that
I'm being testy.
Yes, I'm being angry right now. I'm letting my emotions get the better of me.
Yeah.
She's
and
trying.
She gets sarcastic.
Yeah, but
everyone has that in their voice. When someone tells you something, you answer with the sarcastic back in your brain.
But she's like acknowledging it, and she's trying not to be. So you've got that, but you have this inherent sweetness as well to how she interacts with everyone, and all of it's working. It's all clicking for me. So. I had the full points for Supergirl right now. So she's got into the records. This testimony will lead her in the next part of her journey, and it's exciting. So what are you giving it, Matt? What are you giving Supergirl?
This, like Superman, is a 9. So super enjoyable.
Yeah,
I love what's going on.
I'm going with a 9 for this. This like the last issue, I was like, man, this is doing it for me. So Supergirl's great right now. If you're enjoying Bendis' Man of Steel and you want a Supergirl book, do not pass it up because it is actually really damn good. So that'll take us on to Hawkman number 4. Robert Venditti writing, Bryan Hitch on the art. You two read this, so by all means.
Yep. He's on Thanagar. He's done that whole, backtrack to talk to my past self thing that we've seen him do with Khufu.
Yep.
But now he's doing with Qatar Hole on Thanagar, and
that's most of the issue. There's only one page on Earth, and then the tease at the end for the next issue.
Yeah. So he's there, and he's remembering this. And they bring up Bith, who is the reason that Qatar Hole and Shaira ended up on Earth traditionally. And I had no idea about the stuff that happened with the dad. Like he ended up, because of Bith's shape-shifting abilities, he had shapeshifted into Qatar's dad, and Qatar ended up accidentally killing him, thinking that it was Bith. And I didn't know any of that, and it adds some depth to the Qatar whole character, why he's so dedicated to justice and being a space cop, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with that either. The thing here is Qatar thinks that Hawkman is Biff because he sees him, he sees him pull out his wings, and he's like, "Hang on a second, you just shapeshifted," because his wings don't do that.
Right, and also you find out that Qatar's dad was the one that created the wing like technology to have them fly, and so he's dropping this knowledge on Qatar, saying like, yeah, but in your private moments you thought about like, how come my dad didn't design these better? And it's that thing to make you want justice made you become a wingman police versus being a scientist like your dad, even though you have all these questions, But he ends up, they have like this small fight back and forth, and Shayera shows up.
Some more mace throwing action.
Yep. Oh man, so good. And Shayera shows up, and there's this weird familiarity there. But Qatar basically kicks him off of the statue, and there's all this talk about the story of this, like, he's the hero of heroes on Thanagar. I can't think of his name right now.
Calmaran?
Yeah, Calmaran. And there's this big statue to him.
He's kind of like the Zeus by the look of it.
Yeah, he looks like Zeus or Prometheus or some kind of Greek deity that's responsible for their culture. And he throws Carter off, but Carter, of course, hangs on, ends up finding a hawk emblem on the bottom side of his finger.
Yeah.
Almost like mocking, like whoever put this there, whatever future past version put this there, almost mocking Carter for not looking there first.
Yeah, because the hint was, that Calmaron will point the way.
Right.
And the statue is literally just pointing.
Right.
So you just look at where it's pointing.
Right. So after he finds what he's meant to, he activates it with the mace and the nth metal, and he ends up coming back to Earth, where you see him in Indonesia for whatever reason. He's with one of his, families that he's befriended over all these adventures. And they start to heal him up, and he pieces together, because he's all beat up from this fight with Qatar. And he ends up remembering a part of this prophecy about the blood, or from what, not the prophecy, but what Xanadu told him.
Yeah, the blood contains an ocean of existence in a single drop. So, cuts his finger, bleeds on the thing, and it activates, and it teleports him. And you got the Indonesian dude's like, well, guess one less for dinner.
Yep. And it teleports him to the microverse, and we finally get to see Ray Palmer, which was... So I've recently finished Johns' Hawkman run, and one of the best parts of that was the relationship between Ray and Carter. It's one of the all-time bromances from comics, like, Booster and Ted, or, Guy, or not Guy, but Hal and Barry, or Hal and Ollie. So the fact that he's putting... Ray here, and seeing how this is to factor in, if maybe the microverse is the reason for the reincarnations, because Qatar seemed to think that Calmaran is responsible for reincarnations and whatnot. So we'll see how that factors in. But yeah, it was a really enjoyable season. Yeah. Did I forget anything? So I think that was most of it.
No, I think the understanding that Carter and Qatar came to.
Right.
It was quite nice to see that reconciliation. It's unusual to get that.
Yeah, well, especially out of Hawkman, who's this always, this strong-willed, I'm going to do what I want kind of guy, and both of them can't do that.
The only other thing I'd say we missed is the opening, which is labeled as a faraway world, and Qatar mentions later he dreams of this, and it's the Deathbringers. And they're these giant beings who, destroy this
wings,
planet.
Which we've kind of seen before.
It's not wings like Hawkman, though. It's more, imagine like an anime mech suit, like a Gundam suit.
They're up behind them. There's like 3 pieces.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that. Very insect-like, actually. In the way that they are.
But yeah, Hitch's art is getting better, I feel, because it has this grittiness to it that fit Hawk World, I think, better than some of the other places we've seen.
Yeah, there's a page where we're flying through the air in Thanagar, in the chase, and it turns a corner, and as we turn the page, you get this double page spread of the city, and Carter's like, damn, I forgot how great this place looked.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's one of the best panels I've ever seen from Hitch.
Yeah. Yep. I think this fits Hitch's style.
Yeah.
More than any of the books that we've read so far on the show that Hitch has drawn. So, it was weird that I heard Venditti and Hitch on Hawkman, and now it's turning into one of my favorite books of the month, just because of this, knockout, drag-out adventure that it's doing.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So, what are you rating it?
I'm gonna go 8.5.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. It's about 8.5. It's one of those ones, much like Superman or Action, I want more right now. I wish it was double shipping, just to see where this goes. But I'm not upset that I have to wait, because this was one of the books that I waited for last, which usually I don't do. Usually Superman's last, but this week it was Hawkman.
Plus we know Hitch can't sustain double shipping.
That's true. That's true.
Let's keep it going as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, that'll take us on to Titans number 25. Dan Abnett writing, Brendan Peterson on the art. This is me and Matt reading this. And it's really funny this week that it's all these different pairs of us that are reading all these books. It's a really diverse week, I guess, is what I'm saying. In terms of taste.
The only one I didn't read was Plastic Man. So.
True. But hey, even you didn't read one of them, so,
That's true.
I actually forgot this was going to be a longer 25 because I was reading this and I got about 2/3 through it and I was like, man, this feels like a long, not in a bad way. It's just like this just feels longer.
Yeah,
it feels like a longer issue. And I was like, oh, it's issue 25. That's right. Okay,
yeah,
it is a longer issue.
Not like in a way where you're turning pages like, oh, it's gonna be over. It's just like, oh yeah, there's more of this. Like,
yeah, there was just a point where I was like, wait, I must be over the 20 pages by now. This just feels longer. Like, where am I?
Yeah.
So what I liked about this issue is that it kind of, because obviously the first two issues were very similar of this like new, it was the same writer, but the refreshed run with the new team, right? Were very similar in that it was okay, right? There's one of these crisis things are happening, these breaches where a person's got meta powers from the source wall breaking, and they go out and they deal with it, right? And then we had the last one was like when Raven's like soul self gets taken, we get tricked, and that's
So I wasn't aware that was her soul self that got taken. I thought that was a switch between that character and Raven, but now it seems like it was just her soul self.
Yeah, I kind of thought that as well when we read it last time, but this clarified it a little bit and said, no, Raven who's here still Raven, but her soul self is missing, so she's lost a lot of her powers because of that. But what I was getting at is that you have this issue, it kind of takes that concept and it kind of shakes it up by saying, okay, 3 of them are happening at once, so we have to split up. And it sends, there's a category 6, so we'll send Beast Boy and Steel and Raven to that as a trio. And then there's a category 1, so Donna can go deal with that on her own. And then Nightwing and Miss Martian, who are still bickering, will go as a team to the category 3 one that's in somewhere else. Right. But what it did that was smart, I thought, was that it used this to kind of shake up what it's going to do from here on out. Because by the end of the issue, not only are Nightwing and Miss Martian's problems kind of dealt with, they've kind of learned to understand each other. And it's a really fun subplot with them. Because the one they go to, the old woman has this power that puts them into her TV shows. And she's like, thinks her TV's broken. And basically what happens is we get like a series of scenes where Miss Martian and Dick are acting out various movies, kind of like fake versions of real movies. So one's like clearly Casablanca. One's clearly...
That was definitely Casablanca.
Yeah. There's like a generic Western at one point.
They kept calling him Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good stuff.
There's a Western.
Yeah. And what was fun about it is that they were trying to still talk to each other like they were themselves, but their dialogue would keep slipping into like dialogue of the movie. So it would be like, Dick would say something like really, Nightwing-ish, but then it would end with the word sweetheart, and it'd be like, that was weird. But it's because he's turning into Casablanca mode, and it was kind of funny.
Right.
And obviously it ends up with them almost kissing right before the TV breaks, and the whole, because Donna like breaks the thing, and everyone's thing ends at the same time, and that's when the TV breaks. And I liked it afterwards, like, okay, right, so clearly we understand each other better, and Nightwing, she kind of realizes that he not only feels threatened by her because she's kind of the supervisor, but because it reminds him of his own humanity, and he has to kind of like work harder to prove himself because he is just a human being, and she's trying to prove herself to everyone because she's an outsider, and they kind of respect each other a bit more. But I like the small comedic beat at the end where he turns and goes, "But hey, we're not going to mention anything that happened in that TV, right?" And I was like, "Oh, of course not. We're going to keep that to ourselves."
Yeah. So this is what I've learned about Dick Grayson. Him, much like myself, has a thing for redheads, because there's Babs, there's Corey, and now there's Megan.
Yes.
So,
there's a little spark there. Yeah, actually, they had good chemistry, and what I think I like about it is that at the end, she's like, when she gets her telepathy back, she's like, that's Corey. Who's Corey? She's on your mind. And I'm like, this makes sense that he's thinking of Corey because he's feeling attracted to an alien again.
Yep.
Of course, this makes him think of Corey. But
and usually I don't like when they put like sparks there that they can kind of tease. Maybe there'll be a thing, even if it's just in Titans. But this one, it felt like the way they worked out through their issues, they needed to share an intimacy.
Yeah.
That maybe it's not romantic, but they need to see each other.
Yeah, it was super romantic, like at face value, because they were playing out these TV and movie scenes, right? But I mean, they could bring this back if they want to later, and I wouldn't even be that mad because the chemistry was actually kind of nice. But it kind of like they don't have actually. This can just be a funny joke that it maybe I could see them in like 15 issues time, like someone like one of them like jokingly referencing all that time in the TV, and everyone else just looks at them like, what happened in the TV? Oh no, what happens in the TV stays in the TV, and then like it could be a running joke like that where it never becomes a serious thing, and that's cool. That would work. Yep. But no, I had a blast. Like the cowboy versions of their outfits, where Dick had the sort of the frilly blue logo, and Miss Martian had like it was her color scheme, but it was like a black and red dress, like the old timey Western dress. It was fun. And then, like I said, I was alluding to this earlier. There's the Star Wars / X-Men one where she's got the Leia buns and he's got the Cyclops visor. And if anything, it's maybe more the Geordi visor from Star Trek if it's more related to the Star Wars stuff. But no, it was. I don't know. I thought that whole subplot was really fun.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and then the stuff with Donna. She goes, and who she ends up fighting. I'm like, I've seen these guys before, but I couldn't pin it. And then up came an editor's box, and they were in the first issue of Teen Titans. It's who Damian fought with whatever was going on there. So there seems to be a tie between these two books now.
Was that way back in issue 1?
That was the Brother Blood stuff.
Yeah, because it's the
if it wasn't issue 1, it was the special.
Cool.
It
was the Cult of Blood, and they've got a device that's harnessing this like energy coming off the source wall, and that's why there's 3 things happening at one time. So Donna eventually smashes this, and that causes it to stop. But
who shows up there that Donna runs into?
Yeah, this was out of nowhere, but I kind of like it.
Yeah. So do I.
So Ben from Supergirl, like Supergirl before the new run, who works for Cat Grant.
Orlando's.
Yeah. Shows up and he's investigating this, and Donna's like, because he actually built this device, and then the blood cult took it and manipulated it to do their own thing, and she's like, you seem to know these things, young Ben. You're coming with us to help. You're going to talk to Natasha and try and figure this stuff out. And she's like, hop on the bike. Which, I love Donna's got a big ridiculous motorbike. I'm into it. I'm into that. But I love that he's like, are you Wonder Woman? And she's like, yeah, I am, sure. I'm Wonder Woman.
But the annoyance in her voice.
Yeah.
She's so tired of being asked if she's Wonder Woman. So, but yeah, when Ben showed up, I immediately was like, oh, this is a nice surprise. And then I finished, and that's when I messaged Pete and go, hey, when you read Titans, there's be a nice little surprise there.
That's right. Yeah, you did say that to me.
So if he's a part of the team in kind of like you remember Wendy and Marvin, how they were like the twin geniuses.
Yeah.
So if he's kind of their tech guy that works with Natasha, I'm perfectly okay with that.
Joe's cool about this is I fully expected to never see Ben again after that run of Supergirl ended. But no, here he is in a different role, which is kind of cool.
It felt like he was just an Orlando creation that was meant to give Kara someone to have romantic feelings for, someone that was on her level at school and whatnot. But now here, him being like, so of course he's a tech guy because he got introduced by, he has that scholarship to the tech school going on, but he also interns for Cat Grant, so he has that troublemaker, reporter vibe going for him too. So if he can become like a new supporting character in the DCU, that's great because we don't get too many of those anymore.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Here's a question. See when she first shows up and the Cult of Blood are like, you were that Robin and when you fought us before. She says, "Wait, you think I'm?" And she gets kind of annoyed. Who does she think they think she is at that point? Because it can't be Wonder Woman. Because why would you think it was Wonder Woman with Robin?
I don't know. Unless they think that she's one of the Teen Titans. Unless they thought like she's Red Arrow, or I don't even know the rest of them. But that line didn't make any sense.
This joke would make sense to me if the cast was on Teen Titans. Like if we had the other Wonder Girl kicking around, that'd make sense to me. But the joke didn't make sense to me because of that. So it's a minor complaint. I do like at the end though they keep referring to Damien as the brat. That was amusing. Because even Dick's like, I'm going to have to go talk to Damien. He's fun when he's playing video games, but we're talking shop, not so much.
Yeah. Cheese Viking, less Cheese Viking, more talk is what they need.
Yes.
But then at the end we get the reveal of kind of the big bad, which I like. I like when you can tie this kind of character to the Titans because it goes all the way back to the Wolfman Perez stuff. But it's what is she, Mother Blood?
Yeah.
Is that a brother?
I think so. Yeah, Mother Blood. Joe always bugs me about these reveals, but it's a character we've not seen in ages. There's always that the voice in the back of my head. I'm going like, do I know who this is, or is this someone new?
Yeah.
There's always that thought.
But I like that, and especially what it's going to mean for Raven, because anytime Brother Blood's involved, it usually has to do something with Raven.
Absolutely, yeah.
And how's that going to be without her soul self right now?
Yeah, because obviously, because the other three have probably the least interest in plot, and that it's just the big action stuff. But the trio are fighting a giant robot, which makes no sense because the book opens with them in the base talking about how because they have a little bit of exposition at the start before the incident happens, and they're talking about how this energy only affects organic things. Only affects animals and people. It doesn't affect inanimate objects. But this robot is working. The twist at the end, of course, is that it's actually a kid's toy, and it's the kid who had the power, and he kept making his toy come to life. So that was fun.
Which I like.
Yeah, but that was very much.
Every time they thought they destroyed this robot, it would reassemble. And come back even harder. So,
but it was very much the fun action part of the issue, whereas the Donna stuff and the Dick and Corey stuff, or not Corey, sorry, Corey in the brain now. The Dick and McGann stuff was more the actual meat of the issue, but it was all good stuff. And for a long issue, it did flow in quite quick, and I like that because the end of this issue, not only does it shake up the formula of every issue will be like, there's an incursion of some kind, we have to go fight it, and I'm sure that'll still happen to some extent, but we have a villain now. We have like a core villain who's trying to manipulate this energy. And there's more of a direction there now, so that's cool. So, and the art's pretty good. That's pretty solid.
Yeah, nothing to complain about. Again, the highest points for me were the Casablanca and the Western motifs, because doing the different stuff with the costumes, adding Dick to make him look like Bogey, it's not that difficult, but he looked cool in the tux, so. It worked. But
he still had his mask on, for the record.
He did.
Yeah, no, it looks like. No. That was Titans. So yeah, Titans, 3 issues into this run. I mean, it's still technically the same run, but this new direction. Yeah. I'm digging it. I'm actually glad this is double shipping now. I'm looking forward to this in a couple of weeks. So go for it. Yeah. What are you giving it, Matt? What are you rating it?
8.5. I really like this issue.
Yeah, I concur. 8.5. I really like this issue. So there you go. That's Titans. That'll take us on is Suicide Squad issue 46. Rob Williams and Dan Abnett writing with Jose Luis on art. This is the next part of the Sync Atlantis art. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
just second guessing myself. So I am reading this arc. I just completely forgot that Suicide Squad was part of it, and it was out this week because it's Suicide Squad. I don't
easy to do.
Yeah. But you two guys read this. So what happened? What's going on?
Arthur has to whip up reinforcements to take out Lord Satanus, and Master Jailer, and Killer Croc. And we get a cool Killer Croc versus King Shark fight. King Shark looking mighty menacing, sitting on his throne down in the Ninth Triad because he's taking over.
Yeah.
But Harley's annoying.
No, it actually opens with Harley doing a recap thing.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit irritating.
Very.
And I like Harley when she's done properly.
It's a fine line thing. It's like a seasoning. Like, if you have too much of it, it kind of ruins the meal. And you can have Harley be like the self-aware type, but here it's just. And playing off of Marc too, it should have been funnier because he's the no-nonsense guy.
Yeah.
But it just fell flat.
I think using Harley to do a recap is smart. That makes sense to me. I think it just overdoes it a touch here.
Yeah. But and we have Queen Mara. She's trying to, she's trying to make peace and be like, hey, we're trying to figure this out too. This isn't an active war. We're not trying to encroach on anybody. But you guys sending in a secret team without letting us know, that's not good, and that's not, diplomatic. So I have problems with that. So it's nice to see like some of the Abnett stuff's really poking through here still. And then you have Dolphin and Arthur. He's shipping that even more still because they get separated because Satanus, once he gets into so they have to get to the Silent School because that's again where they're gonna place the bomb. But Satanus has kind of gone rogue, and the closer he gets to magic, the more powerful he gets. And he's decided like, hey, I can do this all by myself. We don't need the Suicide Squad. I'll be the main.
Yeah, and he sets up a big barrier that cuts everyone off, but he overlooked Dolphin, who was still on the inside.
So
I did actually like Harley translating for Dolphin. Like, she's giving all these looks, and Harley's she says what she thinks she's saying, and as she swims off, Harley's like, oh yeah, she says she loves you.
Yeah,
and it's actually quite a nice moment.
Yeah. So as much as I love Arthur and Mara, though, throughout this Abnett run, I'm really rooting for him and Dolphin. Just,
but Matt,
shake things up a little bit.
But Matt, you're into redheads. What's this?
Yeah, I know. I like Dolphin, though. She's a sweetheart. Well, she's the girl next door.
Yeah.
Do you know what one of the biggest problems with this issue is? It's really hard to take Lord Satanus seriously as a threat when we spent the whole of the last issue calling him Satananus.
Yep.
Or Satananus, if you're me.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I like more Master Jailer. Like, here's him being like, look, turns out I'm good with locks, but I've used it and I've messed up my life. I don't want to be here, and I don't want my head to blow up. So what do I need to do to make this go? But I don't want to blow up people in Atlantis either. So he's like having a panic attack underneath the ocean dealing with all this. And I thought that was the strongest part of the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it ends then with Mira, talking to the diplomats, being like, "Hey, I control the seas. I've just made them rise up and hover over your cities. So if you bomb Atlantis and it falls, I just let go and all your cities drown."
Right.
It's quite the threat.
Yeah, it's the two. They always used to say like the Cold War metaphor was two giants attached at the stomach, and both of them either one could pull away and it would cause death for the other, but then the other one will die too.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that Cold War analogy. So.
Yeah, I can see it.
But yeah, so it just kind of knew this was what it was going to be. Like,
it's just kind of thoroughly mediocre.
Yeah, like, and I like what's been going on in Aquaman. So, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal, like I thought it was going to be.
I kind of hate that it feels essential though, because it is just, okay, you can't skip this, and you'll miss.
People let us know.
Yeah, but he's going to have to read it before next time.
Yeah, I'm going to have to now, aren't I?
Yeah, it's like the last issue of Suicide Squad. That was an essential part as well. Like, that had the coronation in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah, if you're going
it's the same here.
if you're going to collect the Aquaman trade, you're going to have to get the trade of this crossover, for, between volumes, whatever and ever. Like, you're going to have to.
You have to.
That's a bummer.
But hey ho. Sometimes it happens in comics.
Yeah, ratings, I guess 5.
Yeah, you're much more ding than I. Even though I don't seem I enjoyed it. As much as you did, I still think it's a 6. Because I did like the Master Jailer stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the dolphin stuff there. So.
Okay. Which does take us out to the last book of the week, which is Sideways issue 8. DIdio writing, Max Raynor on the art. This is me and Matt reading this. So, how did you feel with this one, Matt? This was with the 7 soldiers, get into the Dark Multiverse and looking for Manhattan. Not Dr. Manhattan, just for the record.
No. The Manhattan Guardian.
There you go, that's the one.
Or we'll just call him Guardian.
Just call him Guardian, yes. Save confusion.
Yeah. So, man, this is what I would call almost awesome, because I like what it did with the 7 soldiers, and like it's putting Sideways on this level that he should be a part of these, secret heroes of the multiverse that are doing things to save, and nobody knows about him, because like he's not even sure who these people are, but he's starting to piece together why he's tied in now, because you find out that the Guardian, when Challenger's Mountain showed up in Gotham, he just waltzed in there, and he's been missing since. And Sideways makes that connection that he was in Gotham when that happened, and that's how he ended up having the powers.
Yeah.
So I like that it's tying directly into Metal. I don't like how it feels like we're already done with the 7 soldiers.
Yeah, although I feel like they'll probably pop back in later on. I have to admit, though, this is probably my least favourite issue of the book so far.
Yeah, so far?
Do you know what my problem is? I think part of what I like about this book so much and the character so much is how down to earth it is, and how he has this supporting cast, how he has Ernie, he had his mom, obviously she's dead, and that was a big thing, but he's got his dad, he's got this supporting cast at the high school. I think just put them in the Dark Multiverse with this cast of really wacky characters, and don't get me wrong, 7 soldiers are cool and all, but the Shida Horde is an interesting thing that they have to fight. But it felt so different. It felt so different to what the book that I've been reading since the start of the run, and it felt a bit strange. And then, of course, at the end of the issue, he's just kind of thrown. Like, Zatanna doesn't send him back home. She sends him to somewhere else in the Dark Multiverse. This weird other pocket where he's then taken to this group of weird, wacky, alternate Superman-esque characters from a Dark Multiverse, and they've all been saved, and they're in this little pocket dimension to survive.
Yeah. But I do like that it posits it's like, so the Dark Multiverse is only the Dark Multiverse because that's where these, let's just call them ideas instead of worlds, where these ideas never take off, and that's why they're there. And so these are kind of old ideas that never really took off.
Yeah, I've got a list of the characters here for the end.
Go ahead.
These are the unseen, the group, right? This is Spiner, Laurie, Rant, Olsen, Dear Lois, Kent Clark, and the Giver.
Yeah, and these are what we've heard about news like a couple weeks ago that are going to pop up in the annual. They're these twisted versions of like Silver Age concepts. So you have like the Porcupine Boy Jimmy Olsen and the ant-headed Superman, Insect Queen version of either Lois or Lana. So, and I didn't think we'd get there this quick because I knew that was coming in the annual. But I didn't know that's where this was.
Well, the annual's coming end of next month, so we've got one more issue before the annual. So I guess it just follows on from whatever happens next issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. Like, it was an okay issue. I didn't hate it by any means. Yeah. No. But I'm definitely, even just after this one issue, I'm looking forward to him getting back to the real world. I'm looking forward to him being with Ernie. I'm looking forward to him dealing with these issues again.
Yeah, we like that he was DC's Spider-Man. That he was the average Joe with superpowers, and how do I make this balance? And because he couldn't make it balance, it seems like that's why his mom died. At least that's how he feels.
Yeah.
You know. And now you've added him to this big, grand, spacey stuff, which I really liked the last issue, dealing with the 7 soldiers, because it made him seem like, yeah, he has this power set that can completely change the game.
Yeah.
And he's just doing silly stuff with it.
Yeah, and worth mentioning, he can't use any of his powers here. Like, when they come into the Dark Multiverse, his powers just short out. They don't work anymore when he's here.
Right.
So, you know, so it's okay. Obviously, there's some fun character moments. Clarion's usually kind of entertaining, and
Tico turning into like a panther. I think that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Um,
It diverts the attention.
Frankenstein.
It diverts the attention away from Sideways himself maybe a bit too much, where he feels kind of lost in the mix until he gets sent away towards the end. And then it's just weird things are happening. And I'm sure this might end up being great by the time we get to the rest of it next issue. But I definitely miss the more grounded setting of his home life. But, you know,
I do like Frankenstein not going near the fire.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
It was a different artist, but the art was pretty good. I wasn't...
Is that? Yeah. I also like seeing Sideways created by Kenneth Rocafort on there. Like, that's a cool thing in the credits. Like
just like in 10, 20 years' time, that might be a big deal.
Yeah.
Sideways created by Kenneth Rocafort. Yeah. That could be a big thing. Yeah. So, I guess we'll rate it. I don't have much more to add about it. But what are you giving it?
Well, it's a 6.5. You know, the art's fine, the story's fine. You just, I do kind of wish, like, between the Seven Soldiers and the typical stuff, I wish, like, it went to a weird place, you know, other than I was expecting. So
it feels like a weird side journey.
Mm-hmm.
And he might
sideways journey.
And he might grow a lot through it, and it might be really important for his character by the end of it. But right now, it feels like a weird kind of tangent as opposed to being part of the main book that I really liked.
Where's Tempest Fuginaut as this is going on?
Yeah. So
are you telling me the book went a little sideways?
Shut up, Connor. Shut up. So I'm going to go with a 6 myself. So that's Sideways, which does actually bring an end to the books this week. And we can move on to picking our favourite stuff of the week. We pick our best panel/moment, best art, best cover, and our top 5 of the week. This should be a wildly different top 5 this week as well for everyone. So we'll start with panel/moment. Connor, what have you got?
Oh, it's easy. It's the one from Plastic Man with the kid shouting Wang and him being like, "You just talk to them." Just easily.
The kid shouting Wang.
Oh, Connor. Yeah, I mean, if it did almost make you wake up page as you were reading, then
it did. I had to really just stop laughing because
yeah.
There's a joke in here about making page turn over, but I'm not going to make it. What? Come on, puns. Puns are good. Anyway, what you got, Matt?
So mine's from Superman. It's the hey, cut it out page with all of them looting and whatnot. Like, I love that page so much.
I'm actually kind of torn between a few things here because I really like a lot of panels in Supergirl, of course, and there's quite a few great ones in Superman and Batman and Detective, if I can remember the bloody books I read this week. But and I'm even just looking through Titans right now because it's very tempting. It's very tempting to take some of the stuff from the TV segments. When Nightwing and Miss Martian are in there and these different outfits and stuff like that. But you know what? I think what I'm going to go with Crypto being shouted upon and woken up and dashing to Supergirl's aid because that was a delightful moment. Just delightful. So that's what I'm going with. Best cover of the week, Connor.
It's the Catwoman variant for me.
Archer.
Yeah.
It's hard to tackle that one.
I mean, it was really close between that and the Hawkman variant, the Seju one.
But I'm just looking at the different covers just now, seeing which one I like the most. I want to see this one big. Go back. The Detective cover's quite good, I think. The main one, not
the standard one. Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Standard one's quite good. I like that quite a bit. Let me just double check the Flash variant. A couple of the Superman variants were good actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Oh, Flash wasn't. I mean, it was okay, but it wasn't the standout. I don't think. I actually think I'm going to go with one of the Superman ones. It was the not the. I mean, obviously, Mac's very good. But the other one, the one where he's just about, because you see so many covers where he's ripped his shirt open. There's something I like about the idea of him only just starting to remove the tie. It's just right that part of it, yeah. And you just see the little bit of the S peeking out of the shirt, but that's all it is. I like that cover quite a lot, both in execution and in just the choice of what it is. It's quite nice.
Yep. Hey, that's mine too.
Oh,
Weird.
I would have thought you would have gone with the Amanda Connor Supergirl variant.
I did that one last time, and this one's good, but that other one the first one was much better. So
Fair.
yeah,
Okay.
but I picked up that in physical, that Superman cover, just because I was gonna get the Mac one because I have the Mac ones for everything else, but the Hughes one really just stood out, like sitting on the shelf at the store. You know, it was like a siren calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, I really wanted to love the detective variant, but there's just something about the anatomy and the bottom of his ribs.
Yeah,
that's just wrong.
The look of the design style is very nice, but like you say, there's some off
There's something, it's like the bottom of his ribs are like sticking out, and it's weird.
Yeah.
But everything else I really like about it. It's just that one bit that ruins the entire image because it's right where you focus as well.
No, it's good. So, best art of the week then. What you got, Connor?
I'm going with Detective because I didn't read Catwoman or Supergirl or those ones that you're gonna pick. So Detective, but I thought the art was fantastic.
Well, it's funny because what I'm going to pick is one you did read, but it's not that one. I'll go with Plastic Man.
Oh,
okay.
Plastic Man's like super expressive.
No, it is very good.
Yeah, it's very like it feels weird. I feel like saying something's wonderfully cartoony almost doesn't feel like enough of a compliment, but it kind of is. You know, it's the bulging eyes, the bulging head, the way he reacts to stuff. Where I love when books are expressive with the reactions, but because of his power set and because his head actually gets bigger and his eyes actually bulge out and stuff.
There was a great moment that we mentioned how after the tango she had a little heart above her head.
Yeah.
And during it, his eyes go heart shaped.
And
it's just a fantastic little touch. That those little touches are great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And obviously, I love Supergirl's art. I love Detective Comics art. Catwoman was really good, but no, I'm going with Plastic Man. Matt, what you got?
Oh, Kevin Maguire, Supergirl.
There you go.
Hands down.
He's
I
there.
wonder one of you would pick it.
There we go. Top 5 of the week. So these should all be fairly different. Connor, what have you got?
Yeah. So number 1 is Plastic Man. 2 is Hawkman. 3 is Detective. 4's Flash. Did I only read 5? Huh.
Maybe.
It's been a really busy week, and I
Well, no, because you read. Did you throw Suicide Squad in there?
Yeah, Suicide Squad would be the 5th, but it's not deserving.
Oh dear. Matt, what you got?
So I got number 1 is Superman. Number 2 is Supergirl. 3 is Hawkman. 4 is Titans, and 5 is Catwoman.
Cool. My number 1 is Supergirl. My number 2 is Plastic Man. My number 3 is Superman. My number 4 is Titans, and my number 5 is Detective.
There you go.
Yeah. There you
For
go.
the record, I really enjoyed my 4. Suicide Squad, the other it sits apart as okay, but the other 4 were so solid that I actually thought I'd read more.
I like Sideways was a weaker issue, and
Hey, I enjoyed all the books I read this week.
Yeah.
Usually I complain when I have this much, but there wasn't one. Even Suicide Squad to a lesser extent. Like that's probably the weakest of the ones that I read, but all varying degrees.
it was a solid week. I had a lot of books to read, and they were pretty much all good. So I can't really complain too much. But yeah, so that was the part of the show where I tell you what's coming next week, and we'll see what's different as well based on solicit changes and whatnot. So coming next week, and I'm saying this just long enough for the page to load. There it is. So coming next week, we have Batman 55, Justice League number 8, Green Lanterns 55, Nightwing 49, Aquaman 40, and then Batman Damned issue 1. Also out, but we're not covering, is Damage number 8, Harley Quinn 50, and New Challengers number 5. Unless there's been any changes.
Also,
you missed one of the headlines.
Big
Mr.
ones.
Miracle 11.
To be fair, that moved like 5 times. I'm not taking
Yeah.
flack for that.
It did.
But still,
For the record, Justice League is another one of the Legion of Doom issues.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This is the one with Janin on art.
Ooh.
Who we?
All right.
Yeah.
Give it to me now.
I'm
That's
into
gonna be
it.
my first read of the week. I'm already calling it.
I don't know. Mr.
think
Miracle
normally
usually
I'd
gets
agree.
read first when I'm. Mr. Miracle usually gets read first when it's
Yeah.
out for me.
I saved Mr. Miracle for last.
See,
Yes.
I agree with all of these, but Batman Damned has me excited.
I'm looking forward to it. The art's going to be fantastic, if nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
So, no. So thanks to Mr. Miracle being there and Batman Damned, it's not too dead as week 3, but as it has been.
It's not. But I will not be here next week because I'm at a con.
Yeah, so we'll have a good episode next week, and yeah, so look forward to it.
Yeah, screw you.
So
Drink my tea.
That's the show. Yeah, stay out of it, that's fine. I'll just make fun of each other. That's the show. That's basically it. That's episode 121. Of course, if you want to support the show, you can go over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and you can support us for as little as $1. At the $5 tier, you get the monthly bonus episode, Comics from the Multiverse Monthly, that me and Connor do, where we do a trade or a graphic novel or whatever. Last time we did Sandman. That was the 13th episode of that, so there's 13 up
Yes.
there now. You can go listen to or watch. Next time we're doing the first volume of Gotham Central, so you can look forward to that. So that's the thing. What else we got to say? Oh yeah, Twitter at DC Comics Podcast. You can go do that, and you can follow us, and you can get updates and snarky tweets occasionally. Or in the case of today, in fact, why we didn't open the show with us, I don't know. But it is Batman Day, so happy Batman Day, everyone.
So today,
Yeah, 15th.
Every day
I'm
I bring
really
this
out of
Batman
it
Day.
today.
Yeah, I've seen people all day do their happy Batman tweets, so definitely today. All the whole internet's
Yeah,
wrong. Either way.
No, you're right. I haven't had time to go on Twitter today, so I've not seen any of it.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's Batman Day, so happy Batman Day. So I think Matt should be the bigger man here, and despite the fact that he clearly likes as many Batman books as he does Superman books in most weeks, but I think Matt should give everyone a warm and happy Batman Day greeting right now. Wish them Batman Day well wishes. Go on, Matt.
I mean, it's better than last year.
Damien. What was last year?
They made it into the Harley Quinn Day, remember?
Oh yeah.
Oh dear,
Well,
yes.
Oof.
Oh dear.
So
Happy
count your blessings.
Dick Grayson's Batman Day. Because that's the superior Batman.
Oh, Matt is so salty. I have seen so many people who are not big Batman fans today get in the spirit and celebrate Batman.
But it's my place to point out, I hold a grudge.
And
So-
also,
Oh,
to
we
be
know.
fair, what he just said was true.
What?
I'll never forget the time mutual friend James Burrell wanted me to list my top 5 Batmans, and I went through and managed to find 5 non-Bruce Wayne Batmans. I think I eternally earned his respect for that one.
Although you are bullshitting, right? You don't actually like all 5 of them more than Bruce Wayne. I'll accept Dick, but the rest of them are a bit ridiculous.
I do like Terry McGinnis, Damian as
Okay.
Batman, and 666.
You like that short Damien as Batman thing more than the entirety of Bruce Wayne as Batman.
John Paul's pretty cool.
Oh, piss off.
And,
Piss off. No. This is I know you're trolling when you're saying Jean Paul was a better Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He's crossed the line.
Yes, there's a line's been crossed.
I like how
To be fair,
you
he was
were
number 5.
almost willing to accept that one issue of Damien.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he said, and then he says Jean Paul, and you're like, nope. Nah,
No,
man.
we're done.
Superman in disguise as Batman to protect his secret identity. Yeah.
That one I believe you prefer.
I'll have to dig up the list again. But yeah.
The only really acceptable answer is Dick Grayson, but Terry McGinnis I'll accept to a
Yeah.
point if you're into Batman Beyond a lot. Although I don't think it's close, but I mean I like Terry McGinnis. It's fine. He's cool. But yeah. So happy Batman Day, everyone. Just to round it on that.
Batman Day, Batman Day.
Look, you had Action 1000
Maybe
this
that's
year.
why I've been in such a bad mood this week.
Maybe it is. It's Batman Day. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. That's episode 121 of Comics from the Multiverse. We'll be back next week with episode 122, assuming math does not change in the next week, because it could do.
It might.
It is.
It might.
Yeah.
If we go with Marvel's math, then we have a 0.1 next week. I don't know.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh dear, I like making fun of Marvel, you know that. And it's a cheap joke to make. We're a DC podcast, but it's funny to.
I've never read more Marvel than I have right now, so it's not. For once, the quality's fine, but still, the boneheaded moves are very reminiscent of DC. You know, mid New 52.
Well, to be fair, the Nightwing stuff going on right now feels very New 52, mistaking DC.
It does, and you know, it's just. Like, right now I'm reading Captain America from Ta-Nehisi Coates. It's pretty good. Immortal Hulk, pretty good. Wade's Ant-Man and Wasp mini, really enjoyable. Like, I'm picking up all these smaller ones and I'm enjoying them. So.
Obviously, I've been, going hard on Venom every time I have an opportunity to say how good it is. The first, I think, 4 issues are on sale on Comixology right now for $1 each. So definitely grab those. It's awesome.
First issue was okay. I didn't feel the need to come back for more.
I feel like I'm doing my hipster thing right now, going, well, everyone likes it, I'm not going to read it.
Matt, it's done some things that you would like. It's tied into some stuff from early Thor, God of Thunder stuff.
I know that the guy that works in my shop got a hold of me and said, "Hey, you still have that issue, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, if you want to sell it, here's what we're selling it for. So you have a base range." So I'm not selling it. I'm not. No. Yeah, wait. I do have to move though. I could pay for the moving truck.
Yes. Well, I guess that'll wrap us up. This is the show. This is us. There you go. We'll see you guys. Actually, let's do some individual things. Matt, where are you on Twitter? Where can people find you if they want to?
You can find me at Matt of Steel 57. Being all emo like I was earlier this week.
Yeah.
So ignore me when I ramble.
Connor, where can people find you?
They can't. I will be asleep.
He's going into the dreaming. He loves Sandman so much, he's going into the dreaming. That's why he's staying up for like 26 hours straight.
I'm staying up for this long because I had to work and then this.
Connor, just go with it, Connor. God. You know, in improv, there's yes and. You did the no dead stop.
Yeah, I think that's way more fun.
No, you just made it more difficult for everyone else.
Playing handball on a curtain, Connor, sometimes.
Yeah. He's been on deck, that's what it is. Well, you can find me at Wibble89. Don't look for Connor, it's not worth the effort, apparently. So that is us. We will be back next week with more DC Comics. We love you loads. And is there anything else I normally say at the end of this? I already did Patreon stuff. Yeah, that's us. We're done. This has been DC Comics. This has been Comics from the Multiverse. We love you loads. Keep reading comics. And always remember to never get lost in the Speed Force.